In the NFL, Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones says he'll start interviewing for vacant defensive coordinator jobs starting at 9 a.m. today. In the Pro Bowl, the NFC got busy and beat the AFC 64-59 in some cumulative score. I don't know. The Spurs went down again, 117-101 to the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is Rob Thompson. You're for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
How good you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Hey, huddle up on us. We are the guys. That is RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, and my co-host sitting beside me. I'm Rob Thompson, coming to you live from the big game coverage we call the Super Bowl 58, sitting comfortably in downtown Las Vegas, somewhere in between the Luxor and Mandalay Bay, in the middle of a wide-open convention center arena. Here we are.
We are here, Rob. It's great to be here. It's great to be with you. It's not great to be in the Pacific time zone. It should be illegal and eradicated from the face of the earth. But nevertheless, in spite of that, we have powered through. We've walked 5 miles to get here. And I'm feeling lively despite the fact that even though there are radio stations here from across the country doing more shows, so I might have to air my grievance far earlier than usual.
And it'll probably be accidental. Okay, so you're right. We had to walk a long way. We had to walk miles.
We had to walk the yellow brick road.
I want to do you and I, we have walked, I would say, within each other's footsteps, within 50 steps. Literally. We have not separated at all. I don't know what you did once you put your watch on at the house, but I want to know what your step count is opposed to mine. Because I was walking next to Joe Reinagle yesterday, and Reinagle had a ridiculously bigger number of steps than mine.
Yesterday.
Now, I didn't see him till midway through the morning, but for the most part, I was with him.
So yesterday I'm going to round up 10,600 steps.
I was at 12,000, but I got a little in before I got on the airplane, so that doesn't count. But today, as we sit, I'm at 1,855 steps.
I'm at 1,462.
See, how did I get 455 more steps?
Well, you went to the bathroom one more time than I did.
Did I?
I think so.
Oh, there you go. Then we're right on. Okay, so we're at 1,800 steps.
It's not that far of a trip. I mean, I don't know what you were doing in there, but
well, I took a lap. The stalls are huge.
That's true. Everything is huge. I mean, everything is a palace here. Nothing is small. Everything is extravagant. Everything is fantastic. Everything is fabulous. Everything is glitzy and glamoury and early. It's dark. I haven't seen the sun since we've been here.
No, pretty much not. We'll turn our camera around for those that are going to watch today, and you'll be able to see the vacuous space that we're in. Of all the morning shows, they grouped us together. I wonder if they knew that. There's like 4 morning shows going total in the whole building, and 3 of us are within 30 feet of each other.
Yeah, I think I could see one further down, and they have a spaceship set up. It's kind of obvious there. But you're right. There's 2 here, 1 from Dallas, 1 from Houston, but nobody else.
Yeah.
So they clumped us all together. I don't think they knew that. I mean, if I had to guess, it's a geographical thing because they are Dallas and Houston.
Well, it is a testament to Texas Sports Talk Radio that the 3 markets in Texas have people here in the morning.
That's right. And that's actually because there's a table in between us. We have a little bit of a buffer, but the other 2 setups, they're neighbors.
Houston and Dallas going to go at it. The fan is behind us to our right. So we're sandwiched in between the Dallas types.
What is the best thing you've had to eat since we've been here?
Well, not much, dude. We ate at the food court here at the Mandalay Bay yesterday after we landed, and the pizza was good. I'm not going to argue with it. It was the Bonanno crime family, Bonanno's Pizza. It was actually pretty good.
We had some stromboli. Yeah. That was great. Now, I do want to address the chat. Goldfinger123. I love you, Goldfinger, but hate you for this comment. The comment reads, and everyone should go subscribe to the YouTube channel, pay the like tax, comment, set up noties, be part of the noti gang so that we can read your comments on screen. Goldfinger123 says, RJ, did you go to the real Caesar's Palace? I hate when people do this. I haven't seen any cliches yet. I haven't, except for
How about that, right?
I got that. But I've heard the constant, like, ching, 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 of the casinos. But I haven't heard that line yet until now. So thank you very much, Goldfinger123. I already didn't have coffee, so now I'm even
I'm starting to need a little coffee myself, but we will power through until we have.
There's a casino. There's a slot machine in here.
We literally have slot machines within 100 yards. We're certainly in Vegas, and that's the cool thing about while we're in this empty space and it feels late. Just take 100 steps. People are. You don't know what time of day.
We played a fun game walking in, still awake or already woke up. Walking around various people, and it's not that hard to tell.
No, there's a jaunt and a stagger, and you can see it right off the bat. You think you're sober? You're not. You think you're passing? No, you're not. The game begins today as Radio Row will start to begin, and I expect this week to be a zoo. I think it's going to be pretty nuts. I think Miami, because of the environment, was nuts. The Radio Row was nuts.
It was really difficult from an ergonomic standpoint. It was difficult to get places. The traffic was hectic, and it had the Miami feel. But I will say everything here is pretty compact, which is nice. Even our house is, like 10 minutes away? I mean, if that. So, and our house is weirdly expansive.
I picture it feels like the Brady Bunch house. We just don't have the staircase, but there's all kinds of ups and downs. There's 3 levels basically.
No, there's more than 3 because there's like some rooms are sunken in. Like some rooms have like 1 step, some rooms have like 4 steps. It's very strange. It feels actually to me like a tree house. You know what I mean? And it feels like they kept adding rooms on. They were like, well, we could use this here.
And a pool and a hot tub. Unfortunately, the weather here is worse than at home. It's nice and cool and rainy when we arrive.
You have a pool outside?
To a pool, not heated, sadly. Clean, ready to go, but cold.
It's also very cold here.
There is a hot tub.
That's true.
That we will not use either. I'm watching everybody roll in.
This is maybe the biggest radio, physical setup for Radio Row I've ever seen.
It's as big as Houston. Houston was big.
Well, Houston was at the George R. Brown Convention Center.
That was
for anyone who knows it. Atlanta was pretty sizable.
Yeah.
Atlanta was almost too big in a weird way, but
this one feels humongous. News of the day. It started yesterday. Joe Witt, formerly on the offensive side of the ball, will be joining the defensive side of the ball. Will be joining his guy, Dan Quinn, and the Commanders. We're going to talk about where Jerry finds himself today. And I got to tell you, RJ, you were off mic walking him to the bathroom earlier, and Edwin and I were talking, and he brought up, it's almost like Jerry didn't think Dan Quinn was leaving. This is a surprise, and they're having to jump too. This came out of the blue that he might actually leave.
It's really alarming, but also not surprising. It's frustrating and maddening and more of the same. There are only 2 external candidates who have been connected to the opening at defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. Ron Rivera, who excites me on a 1 to 10 scale, about a 1, and Mike Zimmer, who excites me beneath a 1. Based on my social activity, I have been in the minority. I think it's hilarious, Rob, and I'm not trying to just be, Eeyore about everything this offseason, but this is week 4 of the offseason for the Dallas Cowboys, which means we've lived 3, right? That math checks out.
We're pacing ourselves.
No, but still.
No, you're right.
We're at week 4.
Yes.
And the first 2 weeks were this team sucks, this organization sucks, I'm never trusting them, et cetera, et cetera. It took 10 days for that, heat to wash and dissipate, because my Twitter mentions have been filled with, I don't know, man. I could see this. There's something to this. He has not coached in the NFL since 2021. It is I know that feels like 5 minutes ago. That was 3 years ago at this point in time. He's known for being a disciplinarian.
Well, don't we kind of need that?
Dude, miss me with that. Miss me with the football cliches. I want someone to come in here and instill discipline and blah, blah. No, you need a revolutionary, thinker. You need a liberal mind when it comes to playing defense, not just somebody who wants to instill and install a boot camp. But I don't really have anything against Mike Zimmer necessarily. What I have something against is, dude, do some work. Do more than just call your friend who was your defensive coordinator, 17 years ago at this point in time. It just feels like it feels like let's just open the Rolodex and find a name, whoever's available, and we'll bring them to town and we'll have lunch and we'll get this thing going.
It is a a skinny branch when you start getting past the old guys. The young guys ain't going to come because they feel like the old guys are going to screw things up. Everybody going to get fired.
Yeah.
So it's a strange situation they find themselves. We're going to talk a lot
it's
about
a completely self-induced one.
One that not only is it self-induced, one that should have actually been seen coming. We'll also look a lot at the Spurs. Very interesting weekend. Of course, losses abound, but there a peculiar night on Friday and a peculiar late game instance with Devin Vassell taking a shot. We're going to look at that, what that means to the team. Does that mean something? Certainly post-game quote from Don Harris on of News 4 had a tweet regarding Devin and his selfishness and his requirement to be Batman other than Robin.
He hit the nail on the head.
We're going to talk about what Don has to say. And does it appear that way on the court? That'll be at 7 o'clock for our regular silver and black. Of course, all the Super Bowl news. As we landed yesterday, so did the teams.
And the President of the United States.
Yeah, what a random grouping. And us. I couldn't figure out if they shut the airport down for us or for Joe or for Pat.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Reinagle's a pretty big deal. So,
that Joe.
Yeah,
I was thinking Biden.
Oh,
president.
You know,
hey, coming back, Joe Witt. It was nice knowing you. He's heading up to the Commanders. What to do? We'll talk about the Cowboys search, where it begins and who it might already end with. Of course, all the Super Bowl talk you could possibly stand. Silver and black talk. We'll look around the NBA. Joel Embiid, will we see you next year? We'll converse about that as well. Hold on, we got so much to do. We are sitting live at the big game. Our coverage is powered by AA Best Bell Bonds, brought to you, of course, by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and Synergenics. Coming back, all the Cowboy talk you need right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Sports Star boys are in Vegas for the big game.
Road trip! Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Robin, RJ, and Jason and Joe are in Sin City and Radio Row for the big game, with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
Woo! Think you gonna get away with it? Not up in here.
Not up in here.
Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergenics, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Here in San Antonio, if our football teams aren't winning, we make changes. So if you're losing against your non-energy efficient windows, call Maverick Windows at 800-972-3631 and get a free quote for new energy efficient windows. That's 800-972-3631.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced. Let our professional parts people test your battery for free at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Oh, not this song again.
Hello, Sarah. Real quick, if you had to choose, would you listen to elevator music all day or deal with payroll compliance?
Oh, payroll compliance for sure.
Wait, really?
Staying compliant is so much easier with Gusto. Gusto automatically calculates my taxes and files with all the right agencies for me.
That actually sounds great.
Hold up. Can Gusto help my small business with compliance too?
Of course they can.
Choose payroll compliance without the ups and downs. Visit gusto.com/radio to sign up for free.
Purchase new wiper blades from O'Reilly Auto Parts today and we'll install them for free. See better and drive safer with O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
What's wrong, Cupid? Chris, I've lost my mojo. These arrows just don't work like they used to. The facts are people fall in love thanks to Connecticut, not poor old Cupid.
You don't say.
Oh, absolutely. Look over there. She's got silky smooth hair thanks to a Connecticut water softener. He's got softer skin and cleaner clothes, and now they're all lovey-dovey. Makes me sick.
Don't feel bad, Cupid. You still have your bow and arrow.
Oh, rub it in, Chris. I know a Connecticut runs on kinetic energy like my bow and arrow. There's no computer to break. A Connecticut has it all.
This is Chris Canepa with Connecticut and San Antonio in the Hill Country. There's a reason people love their Connecticut. Right now, I'll let you try one for 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. Just call 656-PURE.
You know, you're right, Chris. I love my Connecticut, too. My diaper has never looked so white. And my wings, oh, I look good.
Cupid, you can always come to work for me.
You serious, Chris?
But you're going to have to wear pants.
ConnecticutSA.com.
Attention all homeowners, do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just call 800-NEW-WINDOWS for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for $0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Call 800-NEW-WINDOWS right now. Don't wait. Call 800-NEW-WINDOWS. 800-NEW-WINDOWS.
Super Bowl 58 in Vegas is set. It's the Chiefs and Niners. Hear it right here on your exclusive home for the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Back and centered. Huddle up around us. We got a play call for you. That's RJ. I'm Rob. We're glad you're with us at the big game. So we can't say, we got Patrick Mahomes will be a starter in the Super Bowl, but we're here for the big game. See, that's how it works because we're here for the big game. Thanks to AA Best Bail Bonds, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and Synergenics. But Patrick Mahomes will start the Super Bowl.
You think he'll start? That could always change.
It's a prop. After Taylor Swift's success last night, he might not need to play. Kelsey might not need to play again. And then,
she is the first person to ever win a Grammy for Best Album on 4 different occasions. Were you a fan of the Midnight's album?
This is such a I like Taylor Swift. I'm all for her success.
But the album specifically.
I couldn't tell you one song from the other.
Wow. She also announced a new album.
I heard that she, on the heels of winning one, she'll be ready. So she's busy. It's all going to be Kansas City's Chief fight songs. It's all going to be Travis. It's going to be all Travis Kelce-esque ballads. Isn't she known for singing about her love life?
I don't know how seriously you're asking this question or not, but that's kind of the whole thing.
Well, keep in mind, there's a lot of people out there like me.
I'm just saying the equivalent of what you asked is like So, like, the Wright brothers, aren't they known for, like, that plane thing? Like, you know.
Well, I mean, not all of her music is about breakups.
No, but, like,
but she is known for.
No, known is the most mild way you could put that. Is all I'm saying. I mean,
I got you. Okay. You want to play golf with us?
No.
You don't? Well, a lot of people do. I was talking to Nick just the other day, our promotions director, and he said, yeah, it's filling up a lot quicker than expected. And it'll be on March the 25th. We're playing out at the Golf Club of Texas. You want to get yourself signed up, go to sasportstar.com. Take care of your duties there. Get yourself signed up. Got a foursome. Great. You're alone. We'll find you whoever you need, but get yourself in there, or you might not be one of the select few of the 144 to play with us. I'm lobbying for us to play together and have someone to win an opportunity to play with us.
Yeah, we'll play with you.
Yes, I think that would be a fine thing to do. Have you played at Golf Club of Texas before?
Yeah.
Good place. Good place.
Joshua Jimenez says in the chat, dang, packed house, fellas.
Oh, yeah.
So that's another reason why you should subscribe on YouTube, so you can see everything. And I'll be straight up with Joshua. Pretty desolate right
now. It's 425 in Vegas.
Man, I wish you hadn't said that. Like,
I know. It's just heartbreaking to see the local clock. It really hurts.
It doesn't get any better, like, no matter what. It's a really kind of, last night the news about Joe Witt joining Dan Quinn in Washington broke, and I was like, okay, I need to go do like this, that, whatever for Blogging the Boys. And then I was like, it's 7:45. I was like, it is so early. And I don't enjoy that. I was exhausted, and I made a tea. Rob, I slept so little that I made the tea, and it's one of these, kind of thermal cups, whatever. Mm-hmm. I didn't finish it, and I woke up and it was still hot. I mean, and so I just,
but you did have an insulated cup. You didn't.
Well, I know. I mean, I'm not saying this was like a plastic, cup from the local barbecue joint, but it's still,
that's
representative
funny.
of.
So you talked about it. Joe Witt, the news breaking late last night that he's heading up to work with Dan Quinn. He was probably not the odds-on favorite, but the odds-on in-house favorite.
Yeah, the odds-on internal favorite.
Put it.
And I think there's a lot of people saying, why? Why would he go there? Let me ask you, Rob. All right, you're a family man. You love your family, right? You would do anything you could to take care of them. Stay here, and maybe be looking for a job in 1 year, or follow Dan Quinn, get a promotion, likely a pay raise. You got to move. That sucks, but it's over in a month, and you are set seemingly for 2 to 3 years. It's all about. I'm not saying he thinks the team sucks or anything like that, but the job security here is overwhelming. You have to do it. I don't blame Joe Witt at all. I'm very happy for him.
You're asking me what I would do. He's literally the guy at the one of those guys in the Titanic who's shoveling the coals, standing in water. Like, keep shoveling. Hey, I'm standing in water here, and it's coming up to my ankles. No, keep shoveling. No, now it's up to my knees. You want me to keep shoveling while the water is now. He's jumping off a sinking ship. Yes,
good for
he left.
Him.
Yes.
Good for him.
I'd have jumped off that boat last week. It wouldn't have had to have been the Commanders. It's going down. He's gone. And again, it's like Jerry didn't see it coming. And if there's willful, like he decided I ain't doing anything. I don't know if that's worse, or there's just flat out ignorance. Like you didn't see it. I don't know which I would be madder at.
First of all, Brian says in the chat that he digs the new name on the show, the Morning Huddle. Everybody,
awesome.
Get used to it. So appreciate it, Brian. But second of all, I'm not going to go that far. I have a lot of demerits to hand out, and I have a lot of rage that I need to work on. But I'm not. I think it would be naive to assume that they haven't been preparing, you know what I mean, and haven't been working, before this all became official. So I'm not going to kill them for that. What I am going to kill them for is, okay, so do you recall how many candidates they hired when they interviewed Mike McCarthy for the head coach post 4 years ago?
I know one. It was one other. It was
literally two.
The Rooney Rule.
Yeah, it was literally Marvin Lewis who satisfied the Rooney Rule, and then it was Mike McCarthy. Boom, done. How could you do that? I mean, like, that is crazy.
Well, yeah.
And so now
I'm not going to fault him for that, though. Okay, so keep going.
So the last time you had a major, and let's think about other coordinators who they've adjusted, right? The last time they made a change at offensive coordinator, it was, they promoted Brian Schottenheimer, but it was Mike McCarthy taking over play calling. I was cool with that. That makes sense. Before that, though, it was Mike McCarthy inherited Kellen Moore. But even when Kellen Moore took over the job, he had been in-house. He'd been on the roster. He'd been in the building. He was the team's quarterbacks coach. They moved on from Scott Linehan, so it was somebody who was in the building. If we go even further back, all the defensive coordinators have been in-house promotions, just kind of turning. It went from Monty Kiffin and the Tampa 2 to Rod Marinelli, who was his disciple, who was in the building, to then Chris Richard and Matt Eberflus, who were kind of like in the mix, and, defensive passing game coordinators. I mean, they have not brought in an external, new sense of blood in a very, very long time. And so the only two external candidates, that's why I'm focused on the external nature of this all, because you can't simply just run it back with an internal candidate, not at this point, not with everything you have hanging in the balance. So the only two external candidates who are supposed to be of interest are Ron Rivera and Mike Zimmer. Ron Rivera, whose defense was awful last year when he was taking over it, and Mike Zimmer, who hasn't coached in the NFL since 2021. Now, I've been tweeted at with all sorts of, statistics and data and information that I recognize to be true and objective fact. But the reality here is this is no disrespect, but I don't need a north of 60-year-old dude who hasn't been around in a very long time coming in to try to save us in the 11th hour. And what's more is like, oh, well, he's been the defensive coordinator before. This retread, this recycled, sort of thing, it just feels so lazy. It feels, classic. Let's get a dude, a leader with head coach experience. It's exhausting how ignorant and willfully they are to change.
Well, what if I told you this was just the beginning? That you might as well put interim. I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. McCarthy's gone.
It's not necessarily interim, but so the other thing that's
annoying, get your transition. It's just not now.
The other thing that's annoying me, and this isn't a grievance, it's an annoyance. I want to be very clear about the difference and distinguishment. Is all these people that are like, oh well, it's a hard thing to get someone to come do because Mike McCarthy's in a contract year. Who controls that?
Exactly.
They're the ones who have set this up.
You act as if the attempt is to be successful next year.
What a horrible thing.
You're right.
I don't disagree.
The plan is to go win a Super Bowl next year, and it's not. The plan is to survive and see what the hell you're going to do with your head coach and your quarterback. That's the only plan. So we'll figure out and maybe fall ass backwards into some wins. But you can't get past head coach and quarterback. That's the first two things that have to be answered. And the longer we don't answer them, everything's in the air.
It's just such a DOA season. And that's what really bothers me.
So don't act as if Zimmer or me or you or any DC that's available makes any difference. It is. You got a teacup on a sinking boat. You're not going to get the water out. It's a temporary job.
It's such a predictable, we'll just see what we have at the house kind of thing.
Well,
you know what I mean? And so Manuel Maldonado asked in the chat, and I've gotten this question a lot too on Twitter, is RJ, who is your defensive coach preference? If I have to pick a name right now, I mean, Joe Witt Jr. obviously made some sense. That's clearly not happening. I don't fault him for leaving. At this point, I would. And I don't love this idea, but at this point, I would consider Brandon Staley. He's a youthful mind. He brings different concepts.
Sure.
But this Mike Zimmer retread idea, and again, I'm disappointed in Cowboys fans because 2 weeks ago they were ready to light this place on fire, and now they're convincing themselves, they're coping themselves into acceptance that this is the right way. Guys, remember the rage that we shared? I mean, we all thought this, and you've all just kind of let it go now. Because, and I get that you want the team to be good and it's more fun to believe and more fun to root for that to happen, but nothing has changed. And the awkwardness of the situation that make it difficult to find a candidate is completely and totally their fault.
Yeah, they brought it themselves, but I've adjusted my altitude. This is all. We're going to slowly tear this Band-Aid off over a year.
God, what a horrible way to put that.
This is just the first hair. We don't have a DC. Hey, coming back, some Super Bowl soup for you. We're live from the big game in a big old open room, looking around, finding some coffee. Coming back, we'll look about what we expect today and a fun-filled week coming from downtown Las Vegas. Your Super Bowl coverage continues right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, we have made it. We are in Las Vegas on Rodeo Road, and we got a star-studded lineup today.
Yeah, Thomas Dimitrov, former GM, is going to join us at 2:30. Solomon Wilcox at 3:30. Andrew Sendejo, the former Smithson Valley Ranger, joined us at 5. Live in Las Vegas, The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind. They're at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Show your love this Valentine's with exquisite fashion jewelry from Diamonds Direct and save an extra 20%. Now through Valentine's, all fashion favorites at Diamonds Direct are on sale. All earrings, all bracelets, all necklaces, stackable bands, colored gemstone jewelry, and more. Lots of romantic and timeless gifts for under $500. Special financing available too. Don't miss this. An extra 20% savings on all fashion jewelry favorites at Diamonds Direct. Shop in store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at gawon'twait.com. That's gawon'twait.com.
On the ship, and the killer is among us.
A murder? Ooh.
We're fortunate to have on board the world's greatest detective.
Everyone on the ship is hiding something.
Preposterous.
It can't be me.
The joke's on you.
You know something bigger is going on.
That is what I'm here to find out. What have we learned?
A lot. Just not, who done it.
Death and Other Details, now streaming only on Hulu.
If you only have a 401k, you're not getting the most for retirement.
Wait, what?
Add a Robinhood IRA on top, then they'll boost it by 3%.
You can do that?
And if you transfer in any retirement account, you get 3% on top of that.
Is there a limit to the match?
No limit. Robinhood Gold gets you the biggest contribution match of any IRA on the market. Sign up for Robinhood Gold at Robinhood.com/boost by April 30th. Subscription fees apply.
Investing involves risk. 3% match requires gold for 1 year from first match. Must keep IRA for 5 years. Match on transfers subject to additional terms and conditions. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC.
3 little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids gummies help relieve occasional stomach upsets, turning those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids gummies. Fast support for little tummies.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Progressive asks, what do a middle school slumber party,
Let's stay up all night. Yeah!
a sleep-deprived girl, an early morning paper route, and a poorly thrown rolled-up newspaper have in common?
Hey, my window!
They can become a fast-breaking news story.
Sorry, Mr. Thompson.
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive for great savings and round-the-clock protection.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Patients everywhere are experiencing joint pain relief thanks to QC Kinetics regenerative treatments. So how does this non-surgical approach work? QC Kinetics Medical Director Dr. Aaron Wolkoff explains.
Is like when you get a paper cut and the cells that come onto that scene first stop the bleeding, and then it recruits more cells to form new skin and new soft tissue. And then you look down a week later, 2 weeks later, and it's like nothing happened and that paper cut never existed.
In this same way, QC Kinetics uses your natural biologics to help repair and restore aching knees, hips, shoulders, and backs.
We take those same similar cells in different areas that are arthritic, are painful, and we cause this kind of internal self-healing that can resolve patients' pain.
Relief without surgery. See if you're a candidate for QC Kinetics regenerative treatments.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
with Rob and RJ, live from Radio Row for Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas.
Coming to you live from Super Bowl 58. The big game coverage brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergenic Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, Pork Rind Appreciation Day coming up this week. I see a guy walking up with a fistful of coffee. There, RJ Ochoa. Now,
oh my gosh!
It appears that has been purchased from a Starbucks.
Yeah, I was going to say that looks.
And it looks like a hike that would be much too long for our standard break link.
He's got them in. There's a name for those things. What are they called? The cartons?
I don't know.
I'm impressed because
holders, drink carriers.
They look weak. I mean, but he's making it work. So
I'm not sure. I hope he doesn't have to go much further. I'm a little concerned. He's starting to wobble, dude. How much do you think? Do you think he's going to have to set him down?
No, I think he's going to make it.
Hey, we woke up this morning to Joe Witt leaving. At least I did. That was on the news that the NFC and a phenomenal goal line stand in yesterday's Pro Bowl hold off that AFC juggernaut 64-59.
Wow.
I would like anybody's hands up who actually saw it.
You know, I will consume most football content. It is very difficult to create something NFL related that I have absolutely zero interest in. But I got to hand it to the NFL. They did it with the Pro Bowl.
Okay, so they're trying to put together some puzzle pieces today. As over the last 48 hours to 72 hours or so. When last we spoke on Friday, Cliff Kingsbury was going to the Raiders. And
but
I was applauding.
He was coming here.
He was coming here. I was applauding the Raiders like a hell of an offseason.
Well, you talked about making them your 2 team.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I thought the Raiders had done everything right. And, you know, the bad news Bears had finally found something good to be happening to him, and it falls apart. So Kingsbury leaves, gets better deal. I don't know, cold feet here. Lands with the Commanders. So what does that tell you about the Commanders and their desire to go get Cliff Kingsbury's pupil at USC?
Well, I mean, everything. Did you see that? So you're talking about Caleb Williams,
yes.
For those unaware. Caleb Williams largely projected to be the number 1 overall pick in the 2024 NFL draft. The problem for the Commanders is they don't own that pick. They own the number 2 pick. The Chicago Bears, by way of the Carolina Panthers, own that number 1 pick. But it seems like the Commanders want the dude who knows Caleb Williams well, much like the Cardinals wanted the dude who knew Kyler Murray well.
That worked out well, too.
So they also wear red.
I hope this is the case, and I hope Chicago is watching closely.
I mean, look, if you're Chicago and you can pick up a king's ransom to move down 1 spot, but you got to pay. But this is completely and totally new team, new ownership vibes.
Yeah, it feels that way.
It took David Tepper a while to like, okay, let's do it. Let's go get Bryce Young. They did the exact same thing. This is the Josh Harris ownership group with Magic and everybody, obviously. Okay, we need that number 1 pick. We need the guy who knows him. We have Dan Quinn. He'll be the defensive mastermind. Cliff will be to Dan Quinn what Kyle Shanahan was to Dan Quinn in Atlanta. We'll get Caleb. We're exciting. We're in our nation's capital. Take command.
And he's from there, right?
I believe so.
So it's a king's ransom.
Well, Kevin Durant's from there. He was going to play, for the Wizards. We all knew that.
But it's just about anything the Bears want at this point. This is first rounders. This is players. This is future considerations.
It's got to be multiple ones and probably 2s and probably a player or 2. Just like, do you remember? So the Panthers. Let's see.
For Bryce, they gave up a stud wide receiver.
It was DJ Moore. All told, this article doesn't have it listed well at all. Goodness, what a horrible way to do this. Okay, last year, and that trade went down on. No, this is not that. Give me a second. You got this.
Buffering. The move tells me at the NFC East, at least they're stepping in and trying to do something. And yet again, it highlights the fact that as the Commanders swing for the fences and go get names that are going to help them in toward the future, the Cowboys are getting names that are leaning toward the past. So this is what it cost to get Bryce last year.
It was, and they were coming up from much further, to be clear, not from 2. They said DJ Moore, a first-round draft pick in last year, 2023, and
their pick.
Right. So they got a first-round draft pick in 2024 this year. They also got second-round picks last year, and they also have Carolina's second-round pick next year, 25.
Now, the number 2 might not make it that expensive just because they're coming from 2, but I still think that is the minimum I start with if that's the case, because they tipped their hand. I know exactly where the Commanders are going.
To your point, they didn't go get Cliff Kingsbury to draft Drake May. You know what I mean? So that's not his guy. He knows Caleb, and it makes sense. Caleb also shouted him out on Instagram and congratulated him for getting the job at DC.
How does that affect the rest of the Cowboys coaching staff? Is there anybody else we can look at and go, this guy
Quinn?
might get picked off from we're 2 down.
I think we're 2 if you count Dan, Joe Witt, maybe Al Harris. But people think that Al Harris is just going to follow, obviously, Dan Quinn, but Al Harris is a McCarthy guy. Al Harris played for McCarthy in Green Bay.
Gary Murphy on our YouTube feed asked a good question. Bieniemy is just kind of hanging around out there. Did he only sign a 1-year deal?
He did last year, but they don't seem to want him involved. But Bieniemy is an offensive coach. The Cowboys don't need help there. They need a defense.
But Kingsbury is what I'm talking about landing.
Right. Well, they clearly have an agenda, and the agenda is Caleb Williams. He has the relationship with Caleb that Bieniemy doesn't.
So has Bieniemy officially been released? Is he no longer a Commander as we sit today? Was his contract expiring kind of like
that? Whole situation has been very strange and unique. I mean, from the very beginning, and you would think that somebody else would want him on their offensive staff. I wonder if he returns to Kansas City after the big game. But, right now he doesn't seem to be anybody who's involved in anything. But, again, maybe Kansas City is an eventual home. The Commander staff is interesting, but I don't really have faith in Dan Quinn, so it's kind of hard to rile myself up about it. I mean,
just after 7 o'clock, we're talking silver and black, and it was an interesting weekend for the Spurs. Competitive, though no actual success of any sort. But Friday night is going to be the point of discussion after we saw Devin Vassell take the shot to win the game with Wemby calling for the ball, or at least expecting to get it. What does that tell you about the team? What does that tell you about the season? And what does that tell you about Devin's future? We're going to talk about that just after 7. But as we sit live in the expansive convention center here at the convention center of Las Vegas.
Our voice is echoing.
Across the stratosphere. I'm watching the slot machines. I think at some point one of us is going to have to go put some money into. You shouldn't put that in a bunch of. We're at work here.
You know what, Rob? I'm going to make a promise to the YouTube audience exclusively. All right, I'm going to not walk around because I can't stay tethered to the radio, but I'm going to show what's in front of us. We haven't done that yet.
No, we have not.
So if you are not on the YouTube feed, go there. When we come back, I will show you what's in front of us.
We will take a tour.
You have to be on the YouTube channel.
Headset will tether us.
Go to the SA Sports Star YouTube channel and subscribe, pay the like tax, comment if you'd like, but I will turn the computer around and show you everything in front of us. I'll also show you what's underneath Rob's chair.
Take you on a 20-foot tour around the Radio Ranch that is your coverage.
I can't go that far.
Of the big game. 58 LV Triple I.
Do you like the Roman numerals?
Well, it's pretty cool that's my age. So I know how I would write my age in Roman.
I heard somebody spin it as they started it because the football's like a gladiator sport. That's kind of cool.
I appreciate that. You know what? They had the foresight to do that. They really do, because the symbolism certainly works. The big game coverage continues right here from LV I. We'll be right back. He's RJ. I'm Rob, and we're huddling up.
The Sports Star Boys are in Vegas for the big game.
Road trip! Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Rob and RJ and Jason and Joe are in Sin City and Radio Row for the big game, with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
woo!
I think you gonna get away with it. Not up in here. Not up in here.
Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergenics, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Folks, there's nothing romantic about home repairs, but when your plumbing has lost that love and feeling and your AC is about to achy break your heart, call Quarterman Plumbing, Heat, and AC at 210-651-5899. We'll fix the issue fast at a great price with a servant spirit.
Joel, this is a special Valentine gift from me to you.
Yeah, but why are your arms red?
I got a deal on this plant for your office.
That's poison ivy, Nigel.
It's what?
Border Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. 210-651-5899. License number M16004. DACLA 000743458.
Okay, if you love playing fantasy sports like I do, take it to the next level with Prize Picks. It's the #1 daily fantasy sports app. This is Rob Thompson, and right now, with the big game around the corner, NBA in full swing, there's no better way to get into the action than with Prize Picks. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections on a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's that easy. You can turn $10 into $250 just like that in 2 taps. I love the easy gameplay, the quick withdrawals, and huge selection of players, the stat options, and more. And check this out. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy platform with injury protection insurance. It'll keep you in the game even if one of your players isn't. It's great. Over 7 million sports fans have already signed up, and I'm one of them. So join me and watch your favorite players and get paid doing it right now. Just download the Prize Pick app and use the code ALAMO. That's ALAMO on Prize Picks for your first deposit. They'll match up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
Get the home field advantage every time with Fairfield by Marriott, official hotel partner of the NCAA. Whether you're a student athlete working toward your championship dreams or your team's biggest fan, Fairfield by Marriott has everything you need to get ready for game day. From comfortable guest rooms to complimentary hot breakfast, Fairfield is part of the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio of hotels and official hotel partner of the NCAA. Visit fairfield.marriott.com to book your next game day stay.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk, like getting up to 25% off drywall boards. Plus, get an extra 5% off every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's business credit card. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need, because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount ticket at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store at lowes.com/credit for details.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
In celebration of the 10th anniversary, Disney's Frozen is coming to podcasting with a brand new story. The Frozen podcast features Anna.
I want to know about that.
Elsa.
Makes perfect sense to me.
Olaf.
I don't get it.
And Kristoff.
Are we going on another adventure?
Oh no.
Of course.
Experience Disney Frozen Forces of Nature, available now on your favorite podcast app.
It's the Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rind Appreciation Day celebration. Enter to win $5,000 cash, tailgating prizes, plus Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds when you pass the pigskin. Enter at porkrindappreciationday.com. That's porkrindappreciationday.com. And make sure to pick up the protein-packed, bold flavors of Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds today at H-E-B.
Super Bowl 58 in Vegas is set. It's the Chiefs and Niners. Hear it right here on your exclusive home for the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Huddle up around us. He's RJ. I'm Rob. This is the Morning Huddle as we sit live from your Super Bowl coverage right here in Las Vegas, Super Bowl 58. And we are really kind of opening up the weekend. We got here. We were the we were the first ones to go on air this morning.
Yeah, I mean, we were at the very least the first in the building. We had to like kick the cobwebs down. It was
pretty
wild.
much.
Yeah.
The three Texas stations are here. There's another one going on, but it's a big room. I was trying to do the math with the tables. On the top of it, we figure 200 different media outlets at the bare minimum.
You know, I think that if we look at this as columns, and I'm about to turn the camera around like I promised, let's just do it right now so that people can kind of get a glimpse.
So on the way it's set up,
apologies for the motion sickness.
As the week goes on, you can get passes to come down here, and there is a row of 200, 300
Can you see
tables.
them, Rob? Can you tell me how it looks?
You're looking. It's a good picture, and you're kind of looking down one specific row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows that look just like what you're looking at. And then on the periphery are the larger media outlets.
So you can see over there, there's Pat McAfee's set. There's the Pro Football Talk set, PFT, BC Sports Peacock set. There's CBS Radio. Over there's Fox Sports Radio. There's iHeart. Way in the back over here, straight on if you're watching.
Sirius has a
Sirius
setup.
XM. And you can see FanDuel. There's the DraftKings area. There are the slots. And there's Bounty.
Which is new. That's a new one for us. Bounty the Wingman. House of the Wingman, which we haven't seen before, but everything else, that's what the morning looks like. And you can get passes to come down and kind of walk the periphery. We're lined by kind of a white picket fence, but it's a white wall that as the week goes on, people will come and circle, and then
that answers Goldfinger 123's question. Where's the crowd? They usually come in, I would say, in the afternoon.
Yeah, you can start, but there's passes to be had. But the savvy ones know that there's not going to be much going on here until Thursday or Friday, as far as just random sightings. But
I promised to show people that and what was under your chair. You may have thought that last line was a throwaway
not
thing.
Much under my chair.
No, not under your table, under your chair. Look on your screen.
Was my Cheeto under there?
Yeah. Look on your screen. On your iPad.
Yeah, I knew I had dropped it. I just didn't know. I'm going to try that. It could happen. No, it won't. It's like looking into infinity. That's what that is. You want to look into infinity. The losses go on. That sideways 8 might not ever go away. The Spurs continue to lose. We're going to look at one specific incident that might represent the entire season. It was Friday night. Who took the shot and why? Silver and Black's coming up next. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The professional football playoffs are here.
Out of the gun, back to Dak. Left side of the end zone. Touchdown!
14 teams with only one goal in sight. The big game in Las Vegas. Presented by Flight by Yingling. Hear it on your exclusive home. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Attention all homeowners, do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just call 800-NEW-WINDOWS for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for $0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Call 800-NEW-WINDOWS right now. Don't wait. Call 800-NEW-WINDOWS. 800-NEW-WINDOWS.
Do you ever feel hot spots or cold drafts around your home while watching your favorite team play? Your windows may be to blame. Call Maverick Windows today at 800-972-3631 and sign up for a free quote and get back in the end zone. That's 800-972-3631.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
COVID-19? I don't want to risk missing work. I booked an appointment for this season's updated COVID-19 shot designed to help protect against recent variants. Learn about a vaccine option and book your COVID-19 shot on schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Nachos! Hey, I'll take some. And some Frank's Red Hot. Nah. You're just gonna eat these boring nachos with no flavor. Frank it up! Frank it up! This guy finally gets it.
It's the perfect blend of flavor and heat. Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin, ultra soft on the party. This is supposed to roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. The grip is always stocked. It's our party wine. Everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth. And if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges on your tax debt daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you will owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima Tax have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-970-3199. That's 800-970-3199. 800-970-3199.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Aggies. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The parades are just dying down as the NFC won the Pro Bowl in Orlando. They took down the AFC 64-59 in a historic goal line stand. Your San Antonio Spurs fell 117-101 to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Hey, your Texas Longhorns beat TCU 77-66, and A&M beat Florida 67-66. Silver Black next.
Wembanyama goes behind the back here. Oh, little sidestep and a jam by Wembanyama. Oh, it's knocked away by Wembanyama.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here's Rob and RJ.
Hey, good morning to you. Huddle up on us. This is the Morning Huddle. He's RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. I am Rob Thompson, but a co-host sitting comfortably in radio. It's Media Row now. I have to adjust the fact that radio is just a small segment of this giant media pie as we sit at Media Row, Media Central here at the Convention Center in between the Mandalay Bay and Luxor here at the end of the Strip in Las Vegas.
I'm feeling energized.
You should.
During the break, we discovered what we brought. Last night we went grocery shopping here in not sunny Las Vegas and got some things for the house. I got you some of my breakfast corn dogs.
You did, and they're delicious. That is a check mark. I will have some in my freezer when I arrive. They're this is not a paid endorsement.
It's one of those. It's a breakfast sausage that's wrapped in a pancake.
Perfect. You don't need anything. It's just the right size. That was a well done.
So among the things that we bought were also snacks or treats for the
Or
guests that
many
will
guests.
percolate. Now, I'll be straight up with you. There aren't necessarily a lot of guests floating around at 5 a.m. Las Vegas time on a Monday morning, but they will come. And so we wanted to be prepared, and we bought a variety of things, including some chocolates. And during the break, we remembered that we had them. So we unwrapped a few of them, popped them in, and now the sugar rush has kicked in. I feel a little bit better.
Newly energized. When last we spoke, the Spurs were heading into a busy weekend, a little bit of kind of a gentleman's back-to-back. They go down to the Pelicans late in the game. We'll talk about that in a bit. Then they go down to the Cavaliers yesterday, 117-101. You have a little bit of time off to get ready for the Rodeo Road Trip. They're going to be gone for a minute as Wednesday will be the next game of a 9-game Rodeo Road Trip that'll span thousands of miles, many different time zones, and we're sure more L's than W's. But as they leave town into what has traditionally been the Greg Popovich boot camp, the midseason rejolt, fine-tune, get ready for the playoff run. This team goes into it as lost as they were going into training camp. They don't know who the hell they are. They don't know how to do Wemby. I can't, as this is our ceremonial halfway through the season. I'll tell you, this has been as bad as it could have been. This is, if you asked me what's the worst case scenario, I guess one other thing, and I don't even bring it up, but there is one other worst scenario. But this is as bad as it could have gotten. And then Friday night, I think, symbolized, as they're getting ready to head away for a while, the need for them to go away for a while.
So, I mean, the moment that Wemby happened, 10 out of 10 emotional high, right? It has been nothing but regression in that capacity. And I think we're only holding on to the hope that it will someday eventually be better. But some of that is really just because it has to be, because it's so difficult to be this bad. Friday night, the win against Minnesota feels like 100 years ago. I mean, not that that was like worth hanging their hat on, but it was nice. It was fun. It was cool. And they won 2 in a row. And it was like, hey, maybe they'll win 3 in a row. But then they blew it to the Wizards. And so, okay, well, you know what? Let's respond at home on a Friday night and have a good time. But then Devin shows up. And as Brian says in the chat, Devin really thought he was Curry shooting that far from the line. Paint the picture, Rob. Paint the picture.
We're late in the game. The Spurs have an inbound play call.
The final moments of the game.
So they have the opportunity to win the game. Devin's had a hell of a game. I'm not mad.
What do you have, like 28?
Yeah, I'm not mad at the specifics.
Oh, I'm mad.
Of Devin taking the shot. But there's a way things work, and there was a play that was called. It was obvious that it had been called for Wemby. It was reinforced post-game that it had been called for Wemby. Devin got the ball, and to his credit, on the inbound pass, it was an open, for Devin, it was certainly an open shot. He takes covered shots a lot. So
it was not an open shot.
It wasn't, but for Devin,
it was open in that he was on the earth and the hoop was also on the earth. That's the only way it was open.
And that's how we should be looking at it. And that's really how Pop should be looking at it. Like, I don't care how open you were. That's not about you. It's about the play and the guy that's going to take it. He took the shot. He missed the shot, and the Spurs lose. That's when you look at the post game. I was mad at him, but I wasn't furious. It was just one of those things. You go, I get it, you were the best guy on that night, but this is about growing. And I'll tell you, I even told RJ earlier, if this was 3 years from now and they had some wins under their belts and they had done some things, then you take the shot, and I don't think anybody looks back at it at all. But this was poor timing by a young guy that kind of reinforced what a lot of people are saying on the edges, that the younger dudes ain't accepting the newest dude, that Keldon and Devin and the other guys aren't necessarily ready or willing or even able to subjugate their game a little bit or a lot, depending on the guy, to Victor. And it was reinforced on Friday night.
I don't care how not open Victor may seem in a moment, how, congested or blown up or whatever the play you drew up seems to be. The ball belongs in his hands. Nothing. Like, you exist. We were talking yesterday about hot dogs, and I don't mean to equate him to a hot dog by any sense, but I don't like hot dogs. And I said that they sucked. And Jason and Joe were like, whoa, Miss Lippy. And I was like, no, they suck. And you kind of went to bat for hot dogs. And, I said, but you don't need a hot dog plain. You said, no, well, you got to put some chili or whatever. And I said, so, yeah, it sucks. Like, The hot dog simply exists as a vessel. No pun intended with what we're talking
it's
about
an added
here.
ingredient. It helps.
No,
it's a
but-
major
So
ingredient.
I know we're talking about a vessel, not a vessel.
Right.
But it exists as a vessel to get the thing you actually care about into your mouth. The vessel has to exist as a vessel to get the ball into Wemby's hands in that moment. And I know that that's a ridiculous way to like kind of dilute this down to, but that's what it is at this point. The only foundational piece in place is Wemby. And you know what I want to see? You know what you want to see? You know what everybody wants to see? I want to see Wemby win a game. I want to see Wemby have the game-winning shot against the Pelicans in a game they should have put away before that, but they coughed up because they're so bad at all this. And he had an opportunity to do it. So I don't care if all 5 other players have a curtain draped around him. You've got to. I would fault you less for going to Wemby in that moment.
So what do you do if you're Pop? I don't think we're at a crossroads yet because I don't blame a guy for, having 27, 28 points and going, I'm going to take this shot. I don't blame him for that on its face. But in the grand scheme of things, don't you think Devin should have already had it in his brain? Look, I'm going to defer and it's just going to happen the way this is going to happen. That's what my concern is because we're down the road now. If this was week 3 of this season and Devin took the shot, I don't think anybody would look back at that either. You go, okay, you were the hot guy. But we're past that now, especially because the wins aren't there, especially because there's only 10 wins. There's no benefit to this season other than getting better. That's all that's going to come from this. Getting better and a mid-level first-round draft.
But that's what's so frustrating is they had a chance to get better. They had a chance to have a last-second game-winning, not quite buzzer beating, but I mean, you know what I mean?
Pass the ball to him.
That's what
Get
I'm saying.
better.
So like you're telling us that this season is all about you getting better. And in the prime opportunity you had to do that, you threw it away. I mean, you absolutely threw it away. So what needs to happen? I think, relatively speaking, heads need to roll. I want to see some adjustment. I mean, Devin, you do this, you violate the code red. I mean, we got to have some consequences in place here. And like, what's going to happen, Rob, if you bench Devin on
That's
Wednesday?
just it. What's worst case?
No,
We're
yeah,
gonna
like,
lose again?
oh no, we're gonna lose by 18 instead of 14.
This is such a delicate tightrope that Papa's had to walk here because you're starting to get a sense of what really is going on behind the scenes. Right or wrong, it's still in his mind his team. He's the best guy on the practice court most of the days before Victor got there. And he's probably the best guy on the practice court while Wemby's there a lot of times, just because he's that good. And then for him to have to deal with a coach that's telling him not to take the shot when he's leading the team in scoring. But he's the hottest.
But he's partly leading the team in scoring because he's taking so many shots.
Right. And you go, why don't you get that out at why are you not getting it now? Why aren't we at game 40? Why are we at game 35 and you still don't get it? I mean, that's what bothers me more than anything. It wasn't just that individual shot, but it's the mentality that should have already been kind of in place where when it's time to go to Wemby, we all know Wemby going to get the ball. Scottie Pippen didn't like throwing it to Michael, but he did. I mean, there is an alpha pecking order, and you ain't it. And he doesn't get it, and he's still grinding against it because we're losing. And if we're losing, I get why he's like, dude, I'm taking this shot. I get why you're doing it, but
Dude,
it should be something secondary.
There's nothing to get because it's not even like he put up a good shot, Rob.
Well, it wasn't a terrible shot, but I know the kind of shots he takes. He's a difficult shot taker. He likes to take them covered. You're right. It's wrong, but he was the right guy to take the shot last night in most NBA universes or Friday night.
No,
in most universes you go, that was the right guy.
Okay, but
not ours.
We don't have the right to exist in that universe,
right?
Or any of those
and
universes.
He doesn't get it, and we're more than halfway through the season, and it's only going to get worse for him. It's only going to get more and more difficult to even see those shots, to even see the volume that he's getting. It's not going to get better for him. It's going to get worse whether he likes it or not.
It just has to be a matter of. You're right. Not only in the most important moment in the game, but literally all the time.
All the time. Why don't you get it yet?
I mean, well, I would put that on Pop.
Well, that's the discussion, isn't it? At this point, it's not about individual actions. It's about ongoing trends because the battleship is difficult to turn, and it's very difficult to get guys fine-tuned and all running together. So you can't just radically change things. But by now, halfway through the season, everybody should know whatever the play is, whatever is going on. First option is the big, tall dude all the time.
I mean, we've said it before. Why is you talk about a point a minute? Why is he not averaging a shot a minute? Maybe not a shot, but a half shot a minute. I mean, he should be. I mean this like relatively speaking. He should be exhausted after a game. He should be exhausted, and I mean that in a good way. Like he should be exhausted. Like, man, I got in a lot of work. I mean, I was just, everything flowed through me. We did not sign up to have this flow through Devin Vassell. I mean, and I'm sorry, that's just not the case. We signed up to have this flow through Wemby, and to just ignore him is just, it's so frustrating. I mean, what are you doing, man? Who do we need to talk to?
You feel like he's being obviously getting passed over, but some of this does need to land in Victor's lap. Some of it is behind the scenes.
Oh, you're saying he's got to be the one who screams?
One of the coaches needs to say, this is one of those times you walk into the locker room and you put on your big boy pants. You say, this is my team, and we will go down according to how I do things, not anybody else. This is my team. You don't say it so much, but you act like it. And if you get passed over, you let them know, look, it's me and everybody else. And every great star, one way or another, established that. Now, some did it through bluster and anger. Michael was the first one to kick in a door and say, this is my team. Tim did it another way. Tim did it in working hard in practice and always being the dude that was first in line, working the hardest. And you just knew, well, it's Tim. You knew it from the time you walked into practice. I don't know what Wemby's style is going to be. I don't even think.
Well, he has to find it.
Yeah, I don't think he knows. But this is one of those opportunities where he needs to get with his guys in the locker room, no coaches around, and say, look, bro, we're going to go as far as I take us. You need to know it. I need to know it. So you need to put ourselves in a position to win. And that's with me right now. You need to know that. And together, we'll get there. Sometimes you do it through words. Sometimes you do it through action. But it's going to happen because this is one of those situations that superstars get thrust into. That you're just going to have to learn to deal with this. You can't be usurped. You can't have a.
They had that way, dude. They had number 11, and like what I'm so pissed off about is we're like, we're begging you for like just the crumbs. You know what I mean? Right. Like just give us win number 11. I mean, they said in the first days of February. I mean, how sad. I mean that this is where we're at. I mean, like you said, this is about the worst possible way. I mean, what is the redeeming quality of this team? That Wemby exists?
You're starting to get into the realms that I was hoping that we would be where we should be by now, where we would know who we are as a basketball team, or at least headed in a direction of this is who we are. We're a running team. We're a slow down team. We're a Wemby team, whatever we are. We have no concept. Sometimes we're this, sometimes we're that. There's a lot of reasons behind that. But, when we look at a Super Bowl or we think about how do teams get to this, they know who they are quickly and become the best version of who they are in time to get here. And that's the only method. The Cowboys can't figure it out. Never have been. Who are we? Who are we going to do it? Spurs need to figure out who are we?
I would offer one answer, and that is you are not the Tim Duncan-led Spurs. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, it doesn't have to be the exact same. It doesn't have to be Wemby's this quiet leader who does it through hard work and practice like you just talked about. It doesn't have to be the exact thing. You don't have to try to literally redo the whole thing just because you got the, awesome superstar, the exact same. Like, you don't have to literally rewrite history. You can be great, but you can do it in a different way. And I think that's the hardest thing for them to reckon with. Like, stop trying to recreate Tim. Like, that's unfair to everyone involved, and that's just going in circles.
What an interesting point. And you wonder if that's going on, recreating what has been the success that Tim had. Are we trying to find the nice guy leader? And that might not be the way to go.
It doesn't have to be that. Just because that's like the established culture of the team in a mainstream, 21st century sort, not even 21st century, but I mean, you know what I mean? Like in a prominent sort of way. It doesn't have to be that. It's like when, I don't know. It's like when teams just try to be the same way that they've always been great. They like in the NFL when teams are like, well, we've always had a great defense, so we have to be a great team. No, you could just be great because you have a great offense. You could be great because you're great. Just go win. I mean, it doesn't have to be the exact same thing.
We'll continue looking at the Spurs as they hit the road. It'll be a 9-game roadie, and traditionally it's been one of those things as they return. They come back a better version of themselves. They've had an opportunity to bunker down and kind of really focus and get some legitimate practice time, which they don't often get with these homestands. So maybe we'll see a turn, but I'll tell you, Friday did not bode well for what we've got. What are your thoughts? We want to hear from you. 656-3776-656-ESPN. If you're watching this, make sure you're liking us and giving us the like tax. Put a thumb on it, as we like to say. Hey, coming back, we're going to look around the Super Bowl landscape, but more importantly, we're going to look down toward the Dallas Cowboys as the search continues or begins in earnest, I guess, today at 9 a.m. What did Jerry say? I'm getting to work 9 a.m. We found out late last night that Joe Witt is leaving the Cowboys to go join Dan Quinn on the defensive side of the ball. They'll have Cliff Kingsbury running that offense as well. What are the Cowboys to do? Joe Witt is gone. Do the Cowboys have even a semblance of a plan? Is it a retread? Is it somebody we've never heard of? Let's talk about where they're going next. This is your big game coverage. He's RJ. I am Rob. We're huddling up on Radio Row. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know, as you sit today comfortably, I hope you're going to work sitting not worried about your weight, not thinking about anything other than getting your full day's effort in. And if you woke up this morning suffering with that brain fog that you get from not getting any sleep, maybe got a little sleep apnea because all that extra weight, and you jumped up this morning, first thing you did is grab some coffee and something sweet and started to chase the day and chase that buzz until you started getting tired about 10 o'clock and you made that circle again. Man, I lived that life for a long time. And I'll tell you, it's easy to stay there. That first step to start losing weight is easier when you've got somebody by your side. And that's Dr. Jacob Torres over at the Institute for Functional Health. He has a success rate of those that have failed that is through the roof. You know, so many times we decide we're going to lose weight. We have the best intentions, but we really don't know how. And above and beyond that, you don't have the coaching or the plan. And that's why Dr. Torres has been so successful. He combines the medical knowledge that we need so much when we need to lose weight with the know-how and the guidance to get you on a path that you can be successful. Thousands just like you have walked through those doors and lost the weight that's needed. I'm living proof. 75 pounds down more than 8 years ago. Here we go, and I live comfortably now. If it's time for you to change your life, I want you to call Dr. Torres. I want you to find out that you can lose some weight quick, but you can keep it off forever if with a few simple steps and the guides that Dr. Torres gives. Go to the website. It's IFFhealth.com. A couple of valuable tests there, but at the end of the day, you're not going to know until you call Dr. Torres. However you like, and he'll explain to you how you can lose the weight. That's the Institute for Functional Health. I give them the absolute highest rating you could give. I like those guys, and I'm going to be a patient for life. Call them today, and I know you're going to be thanking me later.
The Sports Star Boys are in Vegas for the big game.
Road trip! Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Robin, RJ, and Jason and Joe are in Sin City and Radio Row for the big game with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
Woo!
I think you gonna get away with it. Not up in here. Not up in here.
Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergenics, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, it's Jason Minix from The Blitz. Guys, Synergenics can help conquer your New Year's resolutions. Do you have lack of energy, motivation, and possibly low libido? These could be caused by low T levels. At Synergenics, they exclusively specialize in testosterone treatment and make it quick and easy to get your levels checked. And at Synergenics, you will get your results back at your first visit. To book your appointment, go to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com. If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
All right, guys, who's ready for the biggest game of the season this Sunday? Hey, it's James Pledger. Come pregame with me and San Antonio Sports Star and the lovely ladies at Twin Peaks out at the Twin Peaks Park North location starting at noon. Show up early. The first 100 fans get a free square, and every fan will walk away with a free fried pickles bounce back. This is going on at all 4 area Twin Peaks locations. So come join me this Sunday and register to win tickets to Machine Head while you're here. That's starting at noon at Twin Peaks Park North, 410 and Blanco Road.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth. And if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges on your tax debt daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you will owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima Tax have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-970-3199. That's 800-970-3199. 800-970-3199.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Folks, there's nothing romantic about home repairs, but when your plumbing has lost that love and feeling and your AC is about to achy break your heart, call Quarterman Plumbing, Heat, and AC at 210-651-5899. We'll fix the issue fast at a great price with a servant spirit.
Joel, this is a special Valentine gift from me to you.
Yeah, but why are your arms red?
I got a deal on this plant for your office.
That's poison ivy, Nigel.
It's what?
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. 210-651-5899. License number M16004. DACLA 000743458.
It's Rob and RJ, live from Radio Row for Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas.
Joa, Rob Thompson, live for Media Row. Well, that's some serious music right there. Think things are serious around the star today? Serious? Think they're serious? Serious around the star today?
Serious around the star.
Did he say that? Did Jerry legit say 9 a.m.?
Yes.
Get to work.
You know why he said that?
No.
Well, what do you think this place is going to look like at 9 a.m.?
You think he's going to have to beat the news types?
No, but what I'm saying is, what's happening here at 9 a.m.? I'm literally asking you to just explain the process of what's around us and what will be happening here at 9 a.m.
You mean Media Row with variety of...
The answer I'm looking for is that every major radio sports station in the country, television production company, is here, right? Mm-hmm. At 9 a.m., they will all be live talking about the world of sport, the big game. At 9 a.m., the window is open for everybody here to talk about that.
So,
welcome to the W.
Narrowed, well, we don't know if narrowed, but obviously Zimmer and Rivera, the names continue. Now, first we heard that Zimmer was interested, and then we heard that there was some mutual interest. You think is he getting interviewed today?
I mean, the report was that he was meeting with them over the weekend, but this is such a...
Well, I think we're going to have to accept the fact that it feels like it's going to be Zimmer.
I know, and that is so devastating and defeating and boring and antithetical and lame. I mean, like it's just...
Well, if it is, and the attitude is like that around... So the ramifications of this could be, they bring in Zimmer.
He screams at everybody.
And, well, I know that you disagree with the idea that maybe a little bit more discipline, or how discipline is inflicted or inculcated, however term you want to put it, may or may not matter. But there is a consensus of opinion that the Cowboys are a little loose on that, and that, there really isn't a consequence for jumping off sides or not knowing the play or lined up on the line of scrimmage, or maybe a little, the Sam Williams syndrome. You're such a good player as long as you're trying really hard.
Okay, so, but they're going to go from a guy who they adore to a guy who's just going to yell at them and cuss them out. I mean,
maybe there's something to tightening something up, and this guy's only going to be here for a year.
Dude, but it's all so meaningless. Like, it's all such empty calories. It's celery. That's all this is. Like, it's pointless. I mean, you're right. He's going to be here for a year. So he's going to come in. We're going to convince ourselves that, the dude who was their, like, kind of second name that they thought of, that they just randomly generated, who they've known for 25 years, that guy who hasn't coached in the NFL for 2 years, that's the best idea. Look, I want to be very clear about this, and because I'm trying to come at this from an objective standpoint. I don't think that Mike Zimmer is necessarily ill-equipped or a bad fit, but it is so lazy and irresponsible to generate two names and then to be done. If after an exhaustive search of different archetypes, of different minds, of different personalities, of different beliefs and ways of thinking that challenge your own, you come to the conclusion that Zimmer is the best option, I can live with that. I can accept that. But when you tell me that the only two external names who you're considering are Ron Rivera and, and Mike Zimmer, what you're really telling me is like, well, we wanted ice cream and we went with vanilla, or the vanilla with little bit the packaging was different. Like, you have to challenge yourself. This is the laziest path of least resistance.
But Jerry can't tell you the truth, though. The truth is,
I can. I'll tell everyone the
Jerry
truth.
can't come out and say, you know what, I don't want to hire Zimmer or Rivera, but I can't get anybody else worth the salt to come interview. I can't get anybody to come because they all know the situation I put myself in, because the guy they're going to be working for is not going to be here next year. So that by default, I probably won't be here either, though in Jerry's defense, he can say that's not true. I keep around coordinators all the time. You come here and do a good job, I'll hire a new head coach and force him to keep you. I've done it before. I'll do it again. But my belief is his hands are tied. I think he probably called a few guys that are like, nope, I'm not going to come work there.
That is the biggest load of crap that you've ever said. Because
you don't think so?
They may be tied, but he tied them. Like,
that's what I'm saying. He can't admit the fact
I don't
that
feel
I've
bad.
painted myself into a circle. Ain't nobody going to answer, so I'm going to trumpet the fact that I'm gonna have to hire a dude that used to.
I don't feel bad for him whatsoever because he tied his hands.
I agree.
He is the one who is, and still purposefully, who is willfully, consciously going at this in a contract year for Mike McCarthy. I mean, and to be very clear also as well, my advocation isn't for an extension for Mike McCarthy, but it was always, and you could back me up on this, it was always, you got to move on. I mean, so you're hokey poking this whole thing. You're trying to have one foot in, but everyone's feet are out. I mean, like, you can't go about it that way. So, I mean, the path of least resistance was to move on, make a change, bring in a new staff and pay the buyout or whatever, right, and be totally fine with that. But we are only beginning this season, and the consequences will unfold. We'll be on Radio Row in New Orleans next year. Like, yeah, I mean, they've got the 6th overall pick in the draft, and insert whoever coach here is really going to have a big say on how they utilize that. Will they take a quarterback? Will they not? I mean, it'll be exhausting, but it's completely and totally predictable at this point.
You can feel it coming around the bend. As far bigger decision, is it McCarthy or Dak? I mean, is it one or the other? Both? Are they
I think
tied
the McCarthy
together?
decision makes itself. I mean, you know what I mean? It's on autopilot at this point. If it works out, cool. But the Dak thing is.
But if it works out, does that help Dak because it worked out?
I think if anyone stands to benefit from it working out, it's McCarthy. I think Dak can keep McCarthy safe if he plays really well. Shout out to Bob Sturm, always from The Ticket, has a great Substack, and he wrote last week. It was an incredibly long. The premise of it was, and I don't want to just rip off his work, but the premise of it was the succession plan of the Cowboys,
right?
And talking about Stephen Jones eventually running operations. And so, in an effort to understand where we could be heading, he took a look, obviously, at where the Cowboys have been and the negotiations that Steven has made. And the way that Steven has bungled this Dak deal from day one has costed them so much. And he had a line, and I avoided using it earlier, so now I'm going to steal it because I'm going to give it to him. Yeah, he was talking about how they've painted themselves into a corner with Dak, how he's got $60 million in dead cap money, how he's got the no tag, no trade, whatever. He said the craziest part is they were always holding the brush.
Right.
Like, they were the ones. They didn't land in the corner. Like, they did it themselves. And they could have, they kept kicking this money down the road. And now they're here and they're like, oh, crap, what do we do? I mean, this is all on them. And so for all the people in the chat and on Twitter who are like, well, what do you expect? It's a lame duck coach. That's the bed they made. I'm not going to, I recognize that that's the reality of the situation, but it should be said over and over and over again that they created this mess.
But what I'm getting at is Jerry can't come out and say, you're right, man. I am screwed. I have screwed myself.
Well,
so I'm going to have to hire Mike Zimmer. I'm sorry. I've asked, but I can't get anybody to come and do this job. He can't say that, but you get the sense behind the scenes, just like as the Commanders were looking around for a coach, just like there just wasn't a lot of candidates. Like they finally had to go with Dan Quinn. I think that they had higher aspirations than Quinn.
Yeah, I mean, and the spin machine is always working. I agree with you, but I'm not going to sit here and just eat this chum and I'm not going to let you pee on me and tell me it's raining. That's really where I'm coming from.
And that's Jerry's song. That's right. What happens. But I will say this. I do think that
don't
if you
fall
are,
for it. Don't.
Well, no, I'm not falling for anything. But if there is there is some benefit to bringing Zimmer in, and it is that one little tidbit. But my fear is the guy comes in being Zimmer and runs Micah to the point where Micah, like, I ain't showing up. I don't care. You franchise me. I ain't coming to play. You know, those kind of things where he literally runs away some talent that we're trying to keep. And I know that that's not Jerry's plan.
So let's evaluate who the three would be if Zimmer is the choice. Defensive coordinators who have been chosen in the Mike McCarthy era. Number one, Mike McCarthy's friend, who was his former head coach, obviously, with the 49ers, a disaster in Mike Nolan.
It was an unmitigated disaster.
Two,
but there were some, well, no, it was a disaster.
Two, Dan Quinn, who was a great commodity at the time, who had head coach experience and leadership experience, and who was able to be brought in because that was year 2 of Mike McCarthy's deal. The job security was there, as evidenced by the fact that he fulfilled 3 years of duty. Now, so the two have been Mike McCarthy's buddy, and then an amazing candidate that made sense because of the overall situation. Number 3 is the buddy of the Joneses. The Joneses family buddy, who they've known for 25 years, who's literally had this job before, who hasn't been in the NFL in 3 years. I mean, so that's again, if you ultimately come to this solution because you try this, you try that, you interview X, Y, Z, whatever, and ultimately it's like, man, we just really fell in love with the approach that Zimmer's going to take, whatever, fine. Cool.
But you tell me that in a week, not now.
Yeah, you cannot act like this is the best option and nothing else is even worth pursuing.
You said something I do think merits. The way Dan Quinn arrived. Now, he won't be arriving under a coach with a comfortable umbrella of a long contract. But Dan Quinn arrived a stained coach, a coach
tail between his legs. He'd been fired mid-season, yeah.
And Staley is the guy that you keep bringing up, who was a defensive guy who got his job because of defense. And if we remember when he was a defensive guy, it was pretty good. That could be what if this lipstick was put on the pig? What if he found a guy like Staley and went Nick Saban and went rehab again? Well, would that appease the Wolves?
There was a comment in the chat when we were talking about this a little while ago from, I think, Rudy Gonzalez, who said, I might have been Rudy. I'm looking for the comment, but said, oh, well, you want to hire Brandon Staley? He's a failed head coach. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rob. What happened to Mike Zimmer in Minnesota? Was he not fired as the head coach? Was he not a failed head coach? I mean,
all of them are failed head coaches in one way or another.
I know.
How do you define it?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't apply variables to only, the candidates you want to apply them to. So I want Brandon Staley because I want a young, energetic, youthful mind. I want a different way of thinking. I do not want a company man. I do not want a soldier who will fall in line. And that's exactly what Mike Zimmer is. He is, you were talking last night about how when your kids are growing up, you said you ate like 2 tons of Dino Nuggets?
Pretty much.
This is Thursday of a week in your life in 1999. It's like, what's for dinner, honey?
Mac and cheese and Dino Nuggets.
And while you probably enjoyed them many times, I'm certain there were times you were like, again, like, this is it, man. Welcome to Dino Nuggets and mac and cheese.
How much of the hire goes into the manpower that you're dealing with? I mean, this is a strangely built defense. The number of the body types are not your typical defense. Not a lot of big linebackers.
There's a way to fix that. There's free agency in a month, and there's a draft. I mean, you've got to work. And I know you know that, but you got to roll your sleeves up, and you got to be willing to do some work. Get dirty, and lift a finger. But so that's the other thing. Everyone's like, oh, Mike Zimmer knows Deion Sanders, so he has a great grasp with the college game. He's been out of the NFL for 3 years. I mean, he hasn't been in the NFL since,
what you're saying, and a lot of people might not realize, is Zimmer assisted with Colorado,
right,
with Deion last year. So he hadn't been in the league. He was coaching to some extent last year, but not.
I mean, I have a hard time imagining how, if the true goal is to field the best possible result, how you can land on this as the maybe you can land on this as the ultimate decision, but to be the first pathway, and I'm sorry, the second after Ron Rivera, which was an incredible, obviously, option in and of itself. I mean, these are just 2 yes men who are looking for an opportunity, who know that they're willing to sign up for a lame duck situation because they're older. They're not chasing futures anymore in the NFL.
When we talk Cowboys, we expect to see Dak will be here. contractual obligations to Sleep Number and all those other guys. We're going to see Dak.
CD, Old Spice always, around.
Well, yeah, Old Spice will be around. Micah's got his sponsors that he's going to be dealing with, and a variety of other Cowboys. We're going to see. It's going to be interesting to hear these guys on the row, both the current and the long term, as we'll see Emmett on Friday for his regular stop by. We're going to have to wrestle for his bottle of tequila. But I'm very curious if inside the Star there's this kind of atmosphere is rally around the flag. It's us against the world.
I don't see that.
Cowboys versus everybody. Or is there going to be some sideways talk? Is there going to be some Micah bad air, then forgiveness kind of stuff that gets aired this week? Because you get the sense that there's some things that need to be said from the player's point of view.
I mean, I anticipate we get some. I think Dak will, I think Dak will toe the company line.
Always.
Dak will, we're excited about this season. We got some great players. We're going to add some more great players. And I think CD last year on Radio Row advocated for more help for Dak Prescott. So he went a little bit beyond the line. If anyone has the chance to say something, I would say volatile, but noteworthy.
Gilmore, who has some perspective.
I
might be on his way out, or is he just trying to get other contracts?
I think Stephon is he's the right leader. He's going to say the right things. Yeah, it was a disappointment. We're better than that. We're more talented. It's the NFL's hard, whatever. But Micah's the one who might be like, we're trash, or something like. He's the ultimate straight shooter, and I could see that potentially happen. But he's also getting better at playing the game too.
And speaking of playing the game, Jerry the Master, you said it. He's told us yesterday he'll get to work at 9 a.m. up at the Star. He'll be making his first calls and start the interview
so far
process.
Away from our time
as we are sitting here. Let's talk about Jerry and his use of the media. Do you get the sense that no matter who it is, he'll let this draw out all week long? Like, I'm not going to tell you who it is, whether I've hired him or not, till Friday. I want people talking about me instead of just the Chiefs.
I mean,
and will that make you feel better if the longer we go? Will you get the sense that maybe he is interviewing others no matter how he signals? Or do you think Jerry needs to put out the fire now before it gets out of hand?
Rob, I have a question, and it's okay to say I don't know. Okay. Can you name another coordinator opening in the NFL right now?
I don't believe that Tampa one closed, so that's the last one.
My point is, if I walked around to we still don't know how many tables there are here. There might be like 500 tables, but if I walked around later in the day to all 500 and asked them to name me all the coordinator openings in the NFL, the Cowboys defensive coordinator job would get by far the most answers.
Absolutely,
right? And everybody would be like, I think, for something else. That's the way this week is structured to be. There's no way they're hiring Mike Zimmer on Monday and burning this up. You know what I mean? Zero way.
Where do you think Bieniemy and Kingsbury switch places? You think Bieniemy ends up in?
I think Bieniemy goes home, Kansas City after this week. I mean, but it would be hard to argue against Matt Nagy, I suppose, given the success. But I mean, how hard is it to be successful as an OC when you've got Mahomes?
We're going to talk about that as we look at the teams that are in attendance. They landed as we did yesterday at McCarran Airport. We'll look directly at Pat Mahomes and that offense and Travis Kelce's girlfriend, who had a pretty good Sunday evening. It's San Francisco. By the way, that come from San Francisco, Kansas City in the big game as I'm looking directly at the DraftKings giant board. We're going to come back looking around the soup that is a Radio Row. We're taking you around the big game. Go get yourself downloaded. Watch us live. We'll show you what the building looks like coming up next. This is The Huddle. Stay on us. We'll be right back. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join. Or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th. Presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Are you tired of going to the dentist over and over again? Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Mueller. Chief Oral Surgeon at Doctors Implants.
We have put a lot of money into fixing my teeth over and over and over again, a filling or a crown or this or that.
At Doctors Implants, replacing your teeth with full mouth dental implants might be the long-term solution you're looking for.
The 6-Hour Smile is a permanent full-mouth teeth replacement. Your new smile will be custom designed to fit your face and lifestyle and will look and function just like regular teeth. You won't need to remove them from your mouth overnight, and you won't need adhesive to keep them in place. Eat freely and smile confidently again. Research them at doctorsimplants.com. Receive a complimentary doctor's consultation and CT scan when you call 210-640-0000. Again, that's 210-640-0000.
Home of the 6-Hour Smile.
Here in San Antonio, if our football teams aren't winning, we make changes. So if you're losing against your non-energy efficient windows, call Maverick Windows at 800-972-3631 and get a free quote for new energy efficient windows. That's 800-972-3631.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-513-4444. That's 800-513-4444.
What's wrong, Cupid?
Chris, I've lost my mojo. These arrows just don't work like they used to. The facts are people fall in love thanks to Kinetico, not poor old Cupid.
You don't say.
Oh, absolutely. Look over there. She's got silky smooth hair thanks to a Kinetico water softener. He's got softer skin and cleaner clothes, and now they're all lovey-dovey. Makes me sick.
Don't feel bad, Cupid. You still have your bow and arrow.
I'll rub it in, Chris. I know a Kinetico runs on kinetic energy like my bow and arrow. There's no computer to break. A Kinetico has it all.
This is Chris Canepa with Kinetico in San Antonio in the Hill Country. There's a reason people love their Kinetico. Right now, I'll let you try one for 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. Just call 656-PURE.
You know, you're right, Chris. I love my Kinetico, too. My diaper has never looked so white. And my wings, oh, I look good.
Cupid, you can always come to work for me.
You serious, Chris?
But you're going to have to wear pants.
KineticoSA.com. Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
I'm a lawyer for you. I've helped you.
Yes, he has, and many others here in San Antonio. And that's why I'm so glad I get a chance to talk to you today about what happens when you get into an accident.
It's overwhelming for everybody involved. You have this paralysis of what to do next, who to talk to, how do you get medical care, or you're in the hospital and who's going to pay for this? It's this swirl of anxiety, and many times it's even worse than the injury itself. You have to help people through that situation. And I tell every client the same thing. Don't worry. I've got this. I will take care of this. Just worry about your family. Just worry about getting healthy. If I can do that for you and maximize your recovery, you stay in business, you keep clients. And for 30 years, I've kept every client I've ever had. I don't lose clients. I represent their family and friends because that's how seriously I take my job.
A lawyerforus.com. You can find him at 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
Super Bowl 58 in Vegas is set. It's the Chiefs and Niners. Hear it right here on your exclusive home for the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back. Huddle up. I'm Rob Thompson. RJ Ochoa, my co-host and managing editor of Blogging the Boys, has run In Search of Coffee, which is about, I would say, about 500 yards. from where we are now. You have to go out and go do some escalators. This is apart from wherever the president or anybody else of that standard or ilk is. This is probably the safest place on earth because of the rings of security that we have to go through. So because they funnel people through these different security checkpoints, just like Las Vegas itself, there is no easy A to B. You can't just walk from here to there. You got to take a detour. You're going to have to go through security. You can see where you need to go, much like Las Vegas, but you can't get there from here in that direction. You can't go as the crow flies. So as he headed out, which was going to be a hike, and he said he was going to bring several, a cart has just rolled in, and they're setting up coffee right next to us as they're finally starting to feed the morning crews who are slowly arriving out here at Radio Row. And our coverage all week long going to be brought to you by our good friends over at AA Best Bail Bonds. They bring us here every year, along with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Synergenics. Our coverage is due primarily to them. We want to thank them for letting us come out here this week and getting us rolling as your Radio Row coverage will continue. You know, the time change is unique here, but, Vegas is Vegas, and you go out the doors and everybody's just living the life. They don't know whether it's sun up or sundown anyway. So for us morning types that roll in here, it's kind of comforting to have other folks around us. We got a lot to cover all day long. The Blitz is going to start busy today. I know I saw they're going to have the former general manager of the Atlanta Falcons, the guy that put together that Matty Ice team back that got them to the Super Bowl that ended with Dan Quinn landing with the Cowboys after the comeback. The guests are going to start flowing in, and this week should be absolutely crazy as we see more and more arrive. As we were setting up this morning, they pulled in a completely tricked out purple Toyota Tacoma. It's purple, and it's those are the Super Bowl colors for this year, I guess, purple and red, which doesn't seem quite fair because the Chiefs got theirs. Judging by the fandom that we have seen walking around, Kansas City has a bit of a lead early in the number of jerseys that have been spotted for the fans. How was the hike? RJ Ochoa arriving in record time, quite frankly, for the distance. You out of breath?
Yeah.
Did you notice at the door they're setting up coffee right there?
That's not accessible to us.
What?
Yeah, that's a special booth that we don't have access to. I learned that the hard way.
Who does have access?
The people in that booth, that purple booth. I know you were just talking
That's
about.
a lot of coffee cups for a little tiny booth.
Yeah, so they have coffee. Everybody I know you were concerned. They also, Rob, have I think it's quiche. I think they've got
baby quiches.
Yeah, I think they've got some quiche, and they have tea. They have hot water and different teas and honey. So that might be next in our future.
But you mix a fine cup of coffee.
There's one of these that I accidentally put 2 sugars in, so it's a bit of a Russian roulette.
I probably wouldn't notice.
We'll find out which one, and it will.
We were talking coordinators earlier. Another defensive guy away from Baltimore, as their defensive coordinator Weaver is going to head down south to Miami. No surprise there, as you are looking for open coordinator jobs. Looks like the Raiders might have already found their guy too. I mentioned Bieniemy, but it doesn't look like it's going to be him. It'll be somebody in-house. So as we talk about coordinators filling gigs, the usual suspects are rapidly disappearing.
Yeah, which means, needing one right now is kind of an interesting thing.
Yeah, as they continue to search. Tonight's the last night where the players can mingle with the fans and the media.
So
the traditional kickoff to the week.
They will still have some media session,
but
throughout the week,
separate from us.
Right. It's you got to go to a different building, different conference room, different whatever. Tonight is the last, they're introduced. Last year was when Miss Kelsey was out there with the cookies and everything like that. It's cool. It's a cool thing tonight. Feels like a concert and a parade all at once. I mean, I think tonight's the first time where they're like, holy crap, this is going to decide our legacy.
So tonight we're going to, obviously Mahomes will have he'll be on the dais and have a huge throng. Kelsey will have a huge throng. Do you think Kelsey might have a bigger
I think Kelsey's
crowd?
Because he's going to have the entertainment reporters. Right. And, whatever is entertainment tonight, like Good Morning America, the Today Show, stuff like that's going to be at Kelsey. Mahomes might pale in comparison. Who's got the? So we agree they have the 2 biggest. Who has the third tonight? I know the answer. So
I feel like it. might be Purdy.
It's Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
I feel so badly for Brock Purdy because he's going to be asked 4 million times tonight. So what's it like doing this as the last pick, as Mr. Irrelevant? You know, he's going to give the same answer. You know, it's just really great to be surrounded by so many great teammates and coaches. And I've always had confidence in my abilities, but we have one more game to win.
It's funny, as you know, Mahomes and Kelsey have become transcendent both for their winning ways and, their lives and all that. The 49ers come in as kind of low-key dudes. I mean, the biggest star on that team is probably their coach. I mean, seriously, I don't even think Shanahan is that big a deal. Purdy is famous for being unfamous. You know what I mean?
If you're talking about fame,
McCaffrey,
George Kittle is really famous.
Yeah, Kittle has gotten big.
He's got some WWE-ness to him. That, and you're right, McCaffrey's of all of them, easily the most famous college player, and that transcends. And he went to Stanford. He's an NFL legacy. He's dating a really famous person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? His mom, had the line last week about how they weren't able to afford the suite or whatever. So he's, this. Look, which
I didn't buy, by the way.
I don't like the 49ers. I want that on record. But I do think it's cool when great players get to play in this game. And Christian McCaffrey's a great player. He's the type of player who deserves to play in this game before his career's over. So I'm happy that we get to see that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's one of those great things about new teams showing up at the Super Bowl, that you haven't had a chance. You get a lot of guys that have put in a lot of years. They get an opportunity to finally get here. Fred Warner, another guy that would be good to see have a good one. And those
right.
Although was he around for? No,
he was.
He was.
So if you look behind us, Rob, and the video audience can see this. Let me turn my camera a little bit here. As you can see, they've got the banner for Super Bowl LV III. Now, these are, I appreciate when graphics do this, when they have the uniforms that the players are going to wear in the games. So the Chiefs are going to be wearing red, the Niners are going to be wearing white. So this is what we'll see on Sunday. I'm a big fan of all this. I would put it to you that I think this would look better aesthetically if it were flipped. I think if the Niners are rocking the red and gold, and the Chiefs were going white tops, red pants, I think that would look better.
But that's the uniforms. That's when I picture them. They're wearing the uniform that I picture them in. I don't know why I picture San Francisco in the white. Because
it's because this is what they wore the last Super Bowl.
Is that why?
Yeah. I know that we have the grievances, but can I get something off my chest right now?
Well, yes.
Okay, so at some point, we're going to make a trip to the merchandise area. Right?
Yes, we are.
Get the souvenirs.
Sooner than later, I hope.
So what really grinds my gears is if you're a Chiefs fan, right, and you want – because if it was me, if the Cowboys were in the Super Bowl, that will never happen. But if it were me, I would want the jersey that had the Super Bowl that had the jersey that had the Super Bowl patch. You know what I'm saying? Because that would be cool. Cause it's whatever. So in this instance, what bothers me is if they will sell the white Chiefs jersey with the patch, but that's not what they're wearing with the patch. You want to buy that white jersey? By all means, but you can't put the patch on it because they're not wearing it that way. You can't buy a Niners red jersey with the patch. I recognize, retailers need to sell them, but it doesn't make sense. It bothers me when people buy them. Now I understand if it's gifts kind of situation, but if you have a choice, you have to get what they wear.
What they had on. Now, when you go now, do you have an agenda? I don't like the Super Bowl. I buy the Super Bowl gear that doesn't have the teams, that just has the year in the city, and those are hard to find.
I don't mind. At this point, it's more of what's the best thing I like.
I bought something stupid in Miami. I bought the dumbest shirt in Miami. No, I literally brought it home and never wore it. It was a bad choice. Now
we got coffee.
We have coffee, which means the next 2 hours are going to be chock full of goodness. This is the Morning Huddle. He is RJ Ochoa. I am Rob Thompson, and we have so much to do. Coming back, the Cowboys are on the hunt, and whose legacy is at stake? We'll be right back.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, we have made it. We are in Las Vegas on Rodeo Road, and we got a star-studded lineup today.
Yeah, Thomas Dimitrov, former GM, is going to join us at 2:30. Solomon Wilcox at 3:30. Andrew Sendejo, the former Smithson Valley Ranger, joined us at 5. Live in Las Vegas, The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
There's nothing I love more than to buy a 5-year, 10-year, 15-year-old car with great miles and great condition, especially the kind that you might have inherited from a loved one. My name's John Clay Wolf, CEO of America's Best Car Buyer. GiveMeTheVIN.com. You can go to GiveMeTheVIN.com, put in your license plate number, bada bing, bada boom, get a number quickly and at the top of the market. We love to buy cars.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVIN.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope, and they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks. Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Start learning a new language today. Go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
All right, guys, who's ready for the biggest game of the season this Sunday? Hey, it's James Pledger. Come pregame with me and San Antonio Sports Star and the lovely ladies at Twin Peaks out at the Twin Peaks Park North location starting at noon. Show up early. The first 100 fans get a free square, and every fan will walk away with a free fried pickles bounce back. This is going on at all 4 area Twin Peaks locations. So come join me this Sunday and register to win tickets to Machine Head while you're here. That's starting at noon at Twin Peaks Park North, 410 and Blanco Road. Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, it's James Pledger with San Antonio Sports Star. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative and non-surgical drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, pain from arthritis or injury. Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk, run, play, and live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just call 800-NEW-WINDOWS for your free consultation on top-quality, affordable windows or patio doors for $0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Call 800-NEW-WINDOWS right now. Don't wait. Call 800-NEW-WINDOWS. 800-NEW-WINDOWS.
Hurt in a wreck? Get George. Hit by an 18-wheeler or commercial truck? Get George. Injured at work? Get George. When you're dealing with personal injury, you need to get George because George gets justice. I'm George Salinas, and my San Antonio-based firm has been recognized across the state of Texas and the United States. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. KTFM Floresville.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys continue their defensive coordinator search as they also lost defensive coach Witt to the Commanders. Spurs lose to the Cavaliers to close out a tough weekend, 117-101. But the Longhorns took down the number 25 ranked TCU Horny Frogs 77-66. We're talking Super Bowl next here on 94.1.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
How good you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Hey, huddle up around us. It is the Morning Huddle. He is RJ Ochoa. I am Rob Thompson. RJ fills his days doing radio and managing the editing of bloggingtheboys.com. We are live sitting here on the media row. I got to get over the radio stuff because I'm not even just a radio guy anymore. We're media types. We are being broadcast right now on a variety of platforms, but you can check us live on our YouTube feed. Make sure you are liking and really more important than ever, subscribing to make sure you're getting all the updates and all the things that we're doing as we're going to take you around beautiful Las Vegas all week long. We got 2 hours in the bucket. And, as it hits 6 o'clock here.
It's 8 at home.
It's 6 o'clock here. There is a little bit of a vibe. Guys are starting to show up here on the row. And I think this week, more than any Super Bowl I've been in the last decade, we're going to see more and more of the LA types. I think we're going to have a little bit more of the Hollywood influence than we've had in some time. Miami, we had some of those guys types walking around, but I think we're going to get a lot of the California LA vibe.
You saying like on. Vince and E and Turtle and Drama are coming, or like?
Seriously, I think we're going to have those kind of random spotting kind of things just because it's Vegas.
When you were setting things up, I almost said, we're doing great, we're highly caffeinated, but that would have been a lie. For the first time today, we're actually just caffeinated. We finally found coffee, and it is amazing how one sip just sent us. I could run a marathon.
I felt like Will Ferrell in Old School. That really tastes good. Really, when it goes over your lips, just right. I might have to have a little bit more of this.
I know this will upset you. I don't find that movie to be that funny.
No, it really isn't. There's only 3 or 4 scenes.
Yeah.
Also,
Also,
Will Ferrell.
You were talking Monty Python in the break. Not really a Holy Grail person. Not my thing. So, we all have our things.
RJ, you are a man of a different generation. I appreciate your insight. I think that your football knowledge is bar none as good as anybody I've known, and your Cowboys insight is as good as anybody's out there. I give you every bit of credit. But man, your movie taste is god awful. I mean, it is as bad as anybody I know. Because we think so alike in so many things, and I expect you to have a certain appreciation for things that I appreciate because we see things a lot. I think the same way in a lot of instances.
But you like a lot of crap.
The crap that you have like you quote Mighty Ducks 2.
I didn't quote it.
Not Mighty Ducks.
I didn't quote it. First of all, it's the better movie, D2, but I didn't quote it. I referenced it. We were talking about moving as one, and I talked about when they learned to skate as one.
Like 9 people saw Mighty Ducks.
How dare you? How dare you?
Well, they had to have their Blockbuster card paid up in time to go see. I literally, is that like, was that a series? Was that one-off? I didn't even know they had made it.
D2, D3.
And see, there's a 3.
Yeah.
I had no idea. And by the way, Princess Bride is a phenomenal movie, and we will just leave it at that. See, it's those little things about traveling. The strange thing, we have kind of found a rhythm in our traveling. We arrived with 6. We had 6. Lovely Erica Minix is our getter and video camera holder while she's here. So she arrived in the airport. We have 6 people. We're in the same van, like literally the same van we were in LA, right?
The same Pacifica same model, yeah.
Same model, same color. It feels like same literal thing.
It was like a pewter before. It's white now.
Same drivers,
right?
Which isn't always the best thing,
right? Same navigators.
Yeah, which isn't always the best thing.
No.
But we have kind of gotten our travel vibes down. And yesterday was pretty easy considering the close down in the airport, a couple of delays. But really, as far as travel goes, we've kind of got it down.
We had a good system, and then we got here, we set up, and then I don't know if you know this, the Mandalay is pretty big.
It is.
It's pretty big, and so we were all starving, and we walked past like 14 restaurants, but there was a food court that was the closest thing, so we went there, and then we ran into my buddy Rob Stats Guerrera, who was on with us last week. He'll be on at some point this week as well.
He have the Gold Coast
Gold Standard.
Gold Standard.
And I lost my phone, and all my friends here thought it would be super funny to act like the people had taken it away.
See, normally it's me that they do that because I leave my phone everywhere, and I know how scary it could be. I'm numb to it now. I always feel like last year I lost my phone with the fan guys, and they ended up having to text me like, "Hey, dude, your phone is over here."
You think it's scary? I'm way more attached to my phone.
No, you're not. No one is. We're all equally attached to our phone. No one has more.
You said you were up late last night because you were scrolling through TikTok, so I believe you.
I was doom scrolling TikToks late last night.
Do you think that the house is awake yet? Our house?
Let's see.
It's 6:08 local.
No, it is because keep in mind we're having to work on this really weird schedule. I mean, we're coming to work early as all get out. So last night about 8 o'clock, which is 10 o'clock, our home time. RJ and I are like, yeah, we gotta, we're heading in. Well, the guys, they all. Like we're in Vegas. It's 8 o'clock. We are not going to hang out. I don't blame them. We never heard them come back in. I don't know what time they arrived.
They might not even be back.
As far as I know, they might not be there. All we knew was the van and Tim was up. Tim Spence, the sweaty monkey himself, was up. He drove us and dropped us off this morning. I imagine he's still asleep.
You see those quiches? That guy's got some of those quiches.
See, our problem is our getters are not here.
Well, he's also I ran a guy with some coffee. I see you with the coffee. Well done, brother. But we're all united now, all of us with the coffee.
I think anybody, because it's such a long walk from any of the stations, needs to ask if anybody needs anything on their way out.
That's a great point.
Like we should, especially as the Texas station.
We'll look out for our brothers and sisters.
Yeah, we'll look out for the ticket, the fanboys, and the
I do want. So two things. One, we have to name the chat. We have to come up with a name for them. So we're the Morning Huddle. That's the new name.
That's us. Yes.
I don't know if we want to call them the Huddlers. But we have to.
We got to name our P1s.
Yeah, but we got and we have to have a chat name specifically because they're loyal enough to come to the YouTube chat to comment to be a part of it. So like I'm kind of thinking about the brigade. You know what I mean? Like something cool. But I'm open to ideas. So let that percolate in your mind for a second. But referencing temporarily named
our Morning Brigade.
We've got a couple of comments here. Goldfinger 123 says there's absolutely nothing wrong with the Mighty Ducks, so you can pop rock.
I'm not saying it.
Anyway,
it's an awful movie, but of all the reference,
Renee De La Rosa says Princess Bride is an iconic movie. Some disagree with you. Gilberto agrees, says yuppers to him. Jesus says that it looks like I'm a fan of Carrot Top.
Well, yeah, okay, behind the scenes. So when you come to an event like this, our guests don't just happen. They're here promoting something. They always come up and they give us what's called a one sheet. So they show up and they're promoting. I would imagine over the next week, we're going to interview, I would say 10 former professional athletes that are now involved with some sort of cannabis or some sort of that they get, a little bit of money, come to the Bowl, some sort of wellness material. So that's how they're here. And they have these people that book for them, these bookers that send out all the emails. Well, Carrot Top was available. We had an opportunity. Well, not we, because we would get him, but later in the day. Carrot Top and Mr. Wayne Newton. If you had to choose who to interview, who to talk to, so Carrot Top or Mr. And you have to say Mr. Wayne Newton. It's not just Wayne. It's Mr. Wayne.
So,
Newton.
Question. When I asked y'all this question yesterday, and I'm about to tell everybody, but had you really been briefed on this?
No.
Okay. So what happened yesterday was a really amazing experience for me individually. When I was with Tim, we were driving around waiting to get the rest of the crew. Tim brought up Mr. Wayne Newton, although he didn't call him that.
Well, he's doing it wrong.
And he said that, the opportunity was there. It's probably going to be on the Blitz, XYZ. And he said, if you're going to come to Las Vegas and you're going to interview one person, it's got to be him. And I was like, no. I mean, no disrespect, but when I think of Las Vegas performers, not even in my top 10, Mr. Wayne Newton. Like, if I have to name the quintessential Las Vegas performer, it's not him. But I asked y'all that question. And when I asked who's the quintessential Las Vegas performer, you and Joe in lockstep said Wayne Newton. But neither of you said Mr.
Well, Newton is the guy that was here when Vegas was mobbed up. This was the old school Rat Pack Newton on one stage, Sammy Davis and the Rat Pack on another stage.
Still
so
not a great
Mr.
answer.
Vegas.
My answer, and I'm fine with any rotation of these, Britney Spears,
No.
Celine Dion,
No.
Siegfried and Roy,
Siegfried
David
and Roy.
Copperfield, David Blaine.
Well, those guys, okay, but one of them got eaten by a tiger.
Well, I think Jennifer Lopez, like any one of them, those are the quintessential, the Blue Man Group. I mean,
have you seen? My wife actually, when I was talking about where I want to take you to see some Vegas show, but I want it to feel very quintessential, kind of cheesy front room.
That's what
Vegas.
I'm saying. Like, what is the poster?
Blue
of the
Man
Vegas
Group
show?
was pretty close.
That's what I'm
Blue
saying.
Man
like,
Group is about as I paid $50 or $100 for this. A couple of dudes with their face painted blue, pounded on plastic tubes. Yeah, I did that about 35 years ago, and they're still here.
DJ Fresh has suggested the Hudsters, by the way.
What is that?
As the name for the chat.
I don't get it.
HUD, like Huddle, the Huddle, Morning Huddle.
Oh.
The Hudsters.
No, that sounds like we're making fun of you.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either.
No, that's not working. But hey, Morning Crew, sound off. You got something you want to be known by, because there's going to be a lot of swag made out of this: shirts, cups, hats.
I don't like early birds.
No, that we're not getting worms here.
Yeah.
I like the Morning Brigade. I like the crew, something that we're bound and we're planning something. We're on our way towards something.
Yeah.
So your suggestions, DJ Fresh, we appreciate it. But no, it didn't workshop well.
Goldfinger 1, 2, 3.
The Playmakers. Hey, that might be getting someplace.
It's a lot of syllables.
It is. It needs to be able that we can fire off and you can put on a
Brigade.
shirt. Boom. The Brigade, the Morning Brigade. It's feeling good as this is the Morning Huddle. He is RJ Ochoa. I am Rob Thompson, as far as I know. Hey, coming back, let's talk about the game coming up this week. And I'm not sure there's a legacy at stake, but there are certain opportunities. Well, at stake, I don't think Andy Reid's going to be thought of any less if he loses the game, but he can ascend to a level at which I don't think he thought he would be in 8 years. Because if you look at the sum total of work, he's up there in a very rarefied air if he wins this game. What does that do for Kyle Shanahan? Where does it put him? And not even to mention his quarterback along with Pat Mahomes. Let's look at the legacies that are on stake as we come up to Super Bowl 58. Your big game coverage continues live right here, brought to you as always by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergenics, and our good friends over at Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Andy Reid, is he about to ascend to Mount Rushmore status? Is this win going to do it? And what does Pat Mahomes need to do to pass the GOAT? We're talking about it next. Hang around here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Sports Star Boys are in Vegas for the big game.
Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Robin, RJ, and Jason and Joe are in Sin City and Radio Row for the big game, with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
Woo! Think you gonna get away with it? Not up in here.
Not up in here.
Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergenics, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have, because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan sea salt body wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Brakes? We can save you 15% on that. We have OE quality Duralast brake pads and rotors in stock, ready for pickup or delivery. We also have calipers, brake fluid, tools, and anything else you'll need to do the job right. When you get Duralast pads and rotors together, you'll save 15%. It's just part of what makes us America's #1 brakes destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Do you ever feel hot spots or cold drafts around your home while watching your favorite team play? Your windows may be to blame. Call Maverick Windows today at 800-972-3631 and sign up for a free quote and get back in the end zone. That's 800-972-3631.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
Okay. If you love playing fantasy sports like I do,
Take it to the next level with Prize Picks. It's the #1 daily fantasy sports app. This is Rob Thompson, and right now, with the big game around the corner, NBA in full swing, there's no better way to get into the action than with Prize Picks. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections on a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's that easy. You can turn $10 into $250 just like that in 2 taps. I love the easy gameplay, the quick withdrawals, and huge selection of players, the stat options, and more. And check this out. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy platform with injury protection insurance. It'll keep you in the game even if one of your players isn't. It's great. Over 7 million sports fans have already signed up, and I'm one of them. So join me and watch your favorite players and get paid doing it right now. Just download the Prize Pick app and use the code Alamo. That's Alamo on Prize Picks for your first deposit. They'll match up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason, a practicing attorney in San Antonio for 30 years. Jason, what does that mean?
What it means is I've been representing people and families here in San Antonio injured in auto, truck, motorcycle collisions, serious injury, death accidents, taking those families and helping them through some of the worst times of their life. I've been practicing law in San Antonio for so long. I remember when the Cowboys were champions.
Seriously.
And a great staff that handles kind of the blocking and tackling of what it takes to represent clients. There are so many phone calls that need to be made, so many connections you have to have between insurance companies, physicians, opposing lawyers, relationships that you build over 30 years with adjusters, with insurance companies, with defense attorneys, with local judges. When I represent a client, they know that I'm lending my name, my reputation built on 30 years of experience to that client to get them justice.
It's Jason Thompson, alawyer4us.com. Call him at 210-900-0400, alawyer4us.com.
It's Macy's one-day sale tomorrow with great deals of the day just in time for Valentine's. Like 40 to 60% off your date night outfit from INC, Karl Lagerfeld Paris, Guess, and more. And 40% off handbags to complete your look. Plus, get 25 to 40% off beauty and fragrances they'll love from Clinique, Carolina Herrera, and more. And get it faster when you pick up in-store or curbside at Macy's. Savings off sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
When something happens to your car, you might say,
My car.
but what you really need to say is something that can actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And just like that, State Farm is there to help you file your claim right on the State Farm mobile app. So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
It's Rob and RJ, live from Radio Row for Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas.
Hey, huddle up with us. This is your Morning Huddle. RJ and Rob with you on a fine Monday morning, coming to you from beautiful downtown Las Vegas, sitting in the convention center between Mandalay Bay and Luxor, playing host to the Media Row. Tonight will be our opportunity to say goodbye and hello to all the pertinent cast characters for the big game this weekend. It's media night, and we'll see a lot from Andy Reid. And over the last several years, as he's been the Chiefs coach since 2013, when he arrived, he was an offensive genius. He was an offensive guy. When he leaves, he will probably be considered one of the top 4, 5 head coaches in the history of the league.
Who would you put ahead of him right now?
I mean, there's the usual suspects, and Bill Walsh and Belichick, and some of those guys that over the years have made a difference. But when you see what he's done with 2 different franchises, I think that's really what has separated him. And he's had the luxury of going to 2 different franchises who allowed him to do some things that I don't think a lot of franchises would have done. He got to kind of percolate some things. He was allowed to get Pat Mahomes and keep him on the bench and grow some things that I don't know if a lot of other franchises would have had that opportunity. But he has, over the last 20 years, been as good a communicator with his players as any coach that has ever played or been on the sidelines. His players and he seem to find their niche, and he's not so much a coach, but a
leader of men,
and a guy that understands and focuses his offense to the strengths of his players, primarily his quarterbacks. Of course, every coach I think is linked to their quarterbacks, but he has been a guy that has really grown. I have a lot of respect for what he's managed to do. I have some problems with some of it, but for the most part, he's been a Mount Rushmore type.
So it's difficult to rank him, to kind of start where your answer started, because it depends on how you evaluate and where you place people like Bill Walsh, who were innovators. Not that Andy hasn't innovated, but it's hard to innovate when you're not one of the first, right? So there's something to
and he's of that tree,
right? But I do think it's hard to compare him to, say, Tom Landry or Chuck Noll or and all those coaches had great coordinators. So somebody who doesn't get a lot of love, in Cowboys history, by the way, Ernie Stautner. He was the DC for all those doomsday defenses, and I bet you didn't know was the only person to have their number retired by the Pittsburgh Steelers for a long time. But
I did not know that.
He was the first until Mean Joe Green just a few years ago. But anyway, so I think you kind of have to look at modern NFL history as its own
You're right.
kind of template. And I think you could kind of look at it almost in the 21st century, that feels, or kind of salary cap era. And in that run, he really only trails Bill Belichick. It's I think fair to say. I think you can make an argument for people like Mike Tomlin or John Harbaugh, maybe Mike Shanahan, whatever. But Andy's, to your point, he's got the success, multiple championship game appearances, consecutive ones with two different franchises. He's arguably the best coach in two different franchises' histories. He's potentially going to have a third Super Bowl and potentially going to have, coached and groomed what might be the greatest quarterback of all time. He has a unique connection to the Kelsey brothers are obviously, two of the better brother duos, or one of the better brother duos in NFL history. He was part of the group that drafted and groomed both of them. You don't get that necessarily with like the Mannings or whoever the case may be, or Rondé and Tiki Barber, stuff like that. What he's done, that I think it's interesting when a coach takes over a team and they take off and they have success and they're kind of a modern team. They don't have like a lot of history. As an example, I don't want to say the Warriors are that. I don't mean to dismiss their history, but the dynasty that began,
right? There was those
nothing,
guys. There was nothing behind.
Right, there was nothing really like that. And the Chiefs have a promising history. They're one of the original AFL teams. They have won more AFC West titles, and I recognize it's just division championships in just the Andy Reid era than they had ever had before. Obviously they've won more Super Bowls and can keep adding to that. And so at this point, he's just filling the trophy case. He's just stacking on top of,
But it's interesting though, when you think of the great ones, when I think of Andy Reid, you go, well, who is he? We talk about the legacy. I always put myself in the mind. Somebody called me and said, you need to write Andy Reid's introductory speech into the Hall of Fame. When you need to describe to people who knew him, who saw him, and then those that didn't see him or know him, who he was and what he did. And when I go, well, what am I going to say about Andy Reid? Because like you said, he's not an innovator, though he is. But he took what had already been created and
there's innovation in that. But yeah,
to the extent he's also a developer of coaches. There's guys that have come through the Kansas City, not to the extent of others, but he is a developer of coaches. But when you ask me, explain to your son, well, years from now, you go, explain to me the era of the early 2020s and the Kansas City Chief era. What was it about Andy Reid that got him to there?
I think he's measured aggression with player empowerment. But standing, one of the greater moments in this Chiefs run is, the great Tyreek Hill play they had in the first game against these guys. And that was empowered by Patrick Mahomes saying, do we have time to run wasps? Can this develop? And there's a lot that goes into that besides just Mahomes and Andy Reid and Tyreek, obviously. But I do want to say, and I know I just built him up and I don't mean to tear him down, but it's winning cures all.
Absolutely.
And history is written by the winners. But there was a time, even in his Chiefs tenure, where Andy was a joke. People who think that Mike McCarthy, and I don't mean to just
we talk about the menu and
not just that, but the way people think like, oh, Mike McCarthy has horrible clock management issues. That used to be Andy Reid. Like he and even still he has some weird tendencies. Kyle Shanahan has some horrible tendencies when it comes to that. And so, by the way, we just keep pointing like those are the teams. Like behind us,
you don't know what we're talking about. If you look at the camera, you'll see.
It's it's the graphic, but when you win and obviously when you win extensively, it just all that kind of it fades.
Right.
The line becomes a blur, as the great philosopher Joseph Tribbiani once said. And so, but that still exists, and that's where these moments are so impactful. Kyle Shanahan and the Niners, they've gotten here and they deserve a lot of credit. And if they win, I think he finally, he he's Joffrey who finally takes the throne.
Is it because he did it with Philadelphia that I don't feel that Mahomes and Reed are so linked like Brady and Belichick? I don't feel like those two, Brady and Belichick, even as time goes on, seem even more closely linked.
I think it's because the offensive role players on the first Patriots dynasty aren't too burned in your brain. Like, and whereas like the whole Mahomes era has featured Travis Kelce or featured Tyreek Hill for a point in time, where so Travis is kind of the first and now Travis is a whole different level of fame. Right. So that is what we'll kind of remember from a core memory standpoint. But it's all there. I mean, and it is cool. Like, I'm so happy that what we're witnessing, and it is cool. I never jumped on board with the I'm rooting for LeBron because I want to experience the greatness. I want to say I saw the greatness, but I understand the take. I definitely feel that way about the Chiefs. And I'm so happy that this is happening to a team that I have no beef with. You know what I mean? Like, that's always the worst. Like, if this were happening with like the Giants or something, it'd be really hard to take, but it is easy to kind of sit back and admire. And I appreciate how they have an appreciation for their history. Like, have you ever noticed I know that I struggle with this smock?
The mock neck.
The mock that he wears when it's cold is the old school like cotton one.
Yeah.
Like
it's kind of loose.
It's like folded over like the flap. You know what I mean? And
then that's just a straight up turtleneck.
But that's a nod to their past. I love, and they use the cape jackets when it's cold. Like, I love that they marry themselves to the past, and I appreciate that they aren't just about what's happening in the modern current moment. So I'm rooting for them if it isn't obvious. 3
Super Bowl championships in 4 or 5 years. It puts him at a level at which I don't think he will ever be taken off of. No matter how time goes on, you win 3 Super Bowls. You land on a list that does not ever change.
We're at a place with Mahomes, and it's stupid because of how quickly we got here, but we have to put him in these discussions because of the accomplishments. And what's crazy is he has all the time in the world to add and add and add and add and add.
Keep in mind, he was the Pro Football Weekly Coach of the Year back in 2002.
Andy Reid.
Yeah, Andy Reid back in 2022. His rise, and we'll talk about Kyle Shanahan, what that means to him in just about an hour. But coming up, looking around the league, the association, the 76ers got some bad news. We don't know what the timing of this bad news is, but it ain't good. We'll look around the league, what we saw happen outside of the losses from the Spurs as the season winds to its all-star break. Hold on tight. NBA talk coming as our big game coverage continues live from Rodeo Row here in Las Vegas. Brought to you by AA Best, Bail Bond, Southern Recipe, Small Batch Pork Rinds, and Synergenics. We're talking NBA next right here on The Huddle. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
All right, guys, who's ready for the biggest game of the season this Sunday? Hey, it's James Pletcher. Come pregame with me and San Antonio Sports Star and the lovely ladies at Twin Peaks out at the Twin Peaks Park North location starting at noon. Show up early. The first 100 fans get a free square, and every fan will walk away with a free fried pickles bounce back. This is going on at all 4 area Twin Peaks locations. So come join me this Sunday and register to win tickets to Machine Head while you're here. That's starting at noon at Twin Peaks Park North, 410 and Blanco Road.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com. If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
At Target, our aisles tell stories of everyday Black joy. The same joy that can be found in our new Black History Month collection. Like feeling empowered with the teas and mugs from legendary Roots. Or seeing the beauty of Black culture through the art of Winnie Weston. Bring more Black joy to your day with an affordable collection that embraces it. Available now at target.com/Black Beyond Measure.
Wake up. Breakfast. And Nature Made vitamins. Whatever your morning sounds like, Nature Made fits right in. Whether you're looking for vitamin C or a multivitamin to get key nutrients, we've got you covered. Now that's a good morning. We take care of you so you can take on your day. Start your day with Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth. And if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges on your tax debt daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you will owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima Tax have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-970-3199. That's 800-970-3199. 800-970-3199.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Jason Minix here. Guys, your testosterone levels start to decline in your 30s. If you're feeling a lack of energy and drive, it could be caused by low T. Get your levels tested at Synergenics. They make it quick and easy, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you'll get your results back at your first visit. At Synergenics, you will get customized care from testosterone specialists. Conquer your New Year's resolutions. Go to fixmylowt.com to book online. That's fixmylowt.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
It's Rob and RJ, live from Radio Row for Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas.
Living the devil may care, and I am just a devil with no despair. So viva Las Vegas.
Hey, out of luck.
Viva.
He's RJ. I'm Rob. This is your Morning Huddle. Thank you, Elvis. We drove by the Trop on the way in. Did that work for him? You
want to know something embarrassing?
What's that?
I mean, I wouldn't only admit this to you, so I'm only telling you, right? That we're still in commercial break.
What?
We're still in commercial break.
Yeah, we're at break.
Yeah,
no, there's
okay,
nobody.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So I watched the Elvis movie with
Which
my
one?
wife.
What was the Elvis movie?
The one a little while ago, where the dude couldn't stop talking.
Yeah, couldn't leave his accent.
And he had I don't know what it was called. Correct me, so I know you will. The performance here in Vegas, that was the fundraising one. What was it called? It
was like the one where he's in black.
Yeah, it was like Rite Aid or something. I don't know exactly what it was for.
I know what you're talking about. Yes.
So it happened, and like in the movie, and I was like, that was really great. And she was like, yeah, it was it was a big deal when it happened. And I was like, oh, that really happened. And I had no idea. So
Yeah, here's a real guy.
I only told you that though, like because it was a moment.
Yeah,
of
no one heard that. You had no idea that Elvis actually did that. Nimesh Patel is his name. He is a stand-up comedian of great repute. He even wrote for Saturday Night Live back in 2017, and he's coming to our beautiful Aztec Theater on Saturday, February the 10th. By my calendar, that's just 5 short days away. If you would like to go, you can get those tickets right now. 656-3776. 656 Espen to you and me. Caller number 5. Caller number 5 is going to go see Nimesh Patel. Be sitting close to me, I assume. He's a funny guy. He'll be at the Aztec. This is a Live Nation joint. You want to buy them, you can go there to get those post-haste. Tough news late last night. We knew that Embiid had been gimpy in the NBA, had been missing some games, and there was some question about the 65-game minimum and his MVP chase. Well, that's out the window. We found out late last night he has a meniscus tear and will be going under the knife to go to deal with a procedure that will keep him out for an extended amount of time. Tough news for the Sixers as they're playing well, but this will knock them completely out of the playoff run picture, you got to assume, without Embiid.
Yeah. This is tough. I mean, a little while ago, I said that I enjoy when great players get to play in great games, and I think that's just good for sports in general. And it's a bummer. I mean, it's a bummer for Embiid. I mean, that he can't stay healthy. I mean, and I recognize that there's some self-inducedness or self-inducedness to this. So I'm not saying he's a victim, but it is a bummer. And there's a real change that has to happen there because he's too talented of a player to have this keep happening to him over and over and over again. And they're a cursed franchise that can't get past the second round. I mean, so it feels like you're swimming upstream constantly.
Yeah, the cursed franchise. You start. Yeah, this one's a tough one. They look like one of the top 3 teams, and as he is going to be out for a bit. And it looked like the Celtics had started to wrest the East away from just about everyone else as Milwaukee fires their coach and trying to find some defense in that roster. That the Sixers and the Celtics seem to be the team that might be in a position to battle it out. Now it looks like the Celtics were going to pull away. And then you see the Lakers roll in this weekend and take care of business there in the Fleet Center. And that kind of put to bed some of the trade rumors that have been floating around that might actually affect the Spurs. I turned on, I went on to it's hard to read the SI.com site because you never know if that's even going to be on when you click on it after all the news that's come out of there. And there's an article regarding LeBron and the Lakers. Could they do the unthinkable, or is it time for the Lakers to do the unthinkable and go ahead and trade LeBron now?
Well, let me put you inside the mind of LeBron, or you take me inside the mind. You're LeBron.
Okay.
What's best for you?
What's best for me right now is to stay in Los Angeles
for this season.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see how a change right now is helpful and prudent. I mean, you want to you want to reevaluate the summer and Brody and all that. I'm fine with. I'm totally with you. But I mean, right now there's just I don't think it's worth it at this moment.
But I do think as we get closer and closer to the end of the season, this is going to be a conversation that is going to be brought up because the Spurs are in a situation they got a whole bunch of money. They got a bunch of draft picks. And they could manufacture a deal that would bring in LeBron, that would play with the young Victor, and also find a way to get his kid, which is really at the end of the day what I think LeBron's final plans are. Find a place to play with Bronny.
How do you feel about that?
You know, Bronny is an NBA talent, just as a lot of rookies are. I'm not angry with. I'm not going to say he was. He's getting the job just because of his father, but he would be getting his job because of his father. But he would be drafted if his last name was Thompson. You know what I mean? He's a good basketball player. I wouldn't call him a great one, but he's a second-round pick as we sit right now.
But how would you feel about the idea of Bronny and LeBron and Wemby in 2024?
You know, given if you'd asked me this back in October, plans that we don't need to take an exit ramp on our way to titles just to sell some tickets and have LeBron wear a Spurs jersey for a while. I would have said no, but given the situation and the timeline adjustment, what I thought was a 3-year plan is now a 3-year plan 6 months later. So, you know, at this point, if it was to occur, I don't think I'd be all that mad at it because I think that the development of this team is much further off than I originally planned.
So my take on these things in general is if you can't compete, then let's be weird. You know what I mean? Like, let's be weird and entertain me. And if we pick up some wins along the way, so be it. Plus, LeBron's not showing up even to the Spurs to not be a playoff team, right? Like, there's no way that's happening. So LeBron is almost an instant, just playoff status ascension in and of itself. You have to deal with the brawny of it all. Who cares? You got LeBron, Wemby, Pop all on the same floor every single night. I'm very entertained. You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden, this is a highly, as long as we're past whatever this is, whatever weird purgatory we're all trapped in. I feel like we're on the island, and one of us discovered the numbers, and we're repeating them to each other. We don't know what they mean. It's just like Devin keeps taking the shots. You know what I mean? We don't know. Sign me up.
The Lakers currently sit just on the edge. They're at 9th seed. They've got a winning record, but and have won 2 consecutive games, and that Celtic game meant a lot. But they're right on the edge, and you get the sense that this is not a championship caliber team, and you do also know that LeBron's time is ticking. It wouldn't. I would be surprised, but it wouldn't just blow my mind if they did actually pull the trigger and get this thing done, because I think that they see what the future looks like, and it doesn't look good imminently as Oklahoma City and Minnesota continue to go back and forth over the season. They're tied for first place in the West, and with the news of the Sixers losing Embiid, they're only 5-5 in their last 10. They lost their last one. You don't envision good things there, as Boston and Milwaukee seem to be holding on. The Spurs go down to Cleveland the other night, who is about the hottest team in basketball. They've won 5, and that wasn't even a contest when we last saw the Spurs. But when we did see them Friday night, it was going against a Pelican team that looked a little bit intimidating coming in, though the Spurs, for most of the game, fought. They played a good basketball game, and this was without Keldon.
I mean, okay.
Well, I mean, this was, again, we have to focus. If this is a season not about wins and losses, it's about incremental growth. Well, they played host to a Pelican team that had been relatively hot. They were kind of down on it and took this game to the last shot. Now, granted, it's at home against the Pelicans, but they did.
But that felt like the Pelicans playing with their food.
There was some of that.
I mean, it felt like that's why that last layup by Zion, which was super awesome, by the way. Like, it is super cool to see like an amazing athlete just make a decision. But I mean, that's why they celebrated the way they did, because it was like, okay, we woke up. You know what I mean? And then they were like, okay, now we just have to panic because the Spurs are definitely putting the ball in Wemby's hands.
Right.
But, stuff happened.
And they fixed some things that had gone wrong. The last time we had played the Pelicans, they got dominated in the paint, and that left the three-point line open, and the Pelicans bombed us all day long. That didn't happen. So when you look at those little things that you're trying to find some reason for hope, they played the Pelicans far better than they had the first time. They defended better. They did it without Keldon, and they took it to the last shot. Now that set the table for what happened, which I think will be, when we look back on this season, when we look back on what happened to the Spurs after Victor's first year, I think we'll look at this game and a Don Harris tweet that will live on forever that reflected on not only did Devin Vassell take a shot that was probably designed inside of a play for Wemby to take, but in post-game reflect on the fact of, I ain't no Robin, I'm Batman, and if that shot came to me again, I would take it again. I think that is a very significant statement from a young basketball player.
This is Don's tweet specifically. He tweeted this out on Friday night.
It was late Friday.
Time is kind of meaningless right now to us. Anyway, I'm somewhat summarizing. It was a long tweet. Devin Vassell's postgame comments lead me to believe he still thinks he's the Spurs Batman and Wemby is Robin. Said it the other way around. Pop said the preference would have been to throw it to the rim and go dunk it. Play was drawn up to do just that. Vassell said, I was open, so I took it. The bigger concern is that he would do it. That he would do that every time. No shot attempts by Vic in the final 7 minutes. Is mind-boggling to me. It's mind-boggling to all of us, Don. It doesn't. It should be illegal. Like there should be
like a light comes on. Yeah. It's been 35, 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Where
the have the 330 days since the last incident. Like you should. Have the Coyote
5 hours.
Have the
minutes.
Coyote up there hold a sign like it's been 5 minutes since Wemby touched the ball. Since Wemby had a shot. Just Coyote's a hard-working person, did the bad thing, last weekend. But I mean, if we can add this to their plate and for the overall greater good, I think it's what's in best.
I will say this, and Don is right. He is correct in this, but there's a lot of reasons we got where we are. There's a lot of reasons why Devin felt comfortable taking that shot and saying, you know what, I'll do it again. There's a lot of reasons why Victor didn't get the ball. A lot of them. And they didn't just happen in that play, in that moment. They've happened over the season. And what concerns me more than that shot, because that shot it wasn't a horrible shot, it was just a tough shot, was that it was taken now, and 4 years from now, 3 years from now, if Devin and Wemby have gone through the wars and it was an inbound play and the shot was there, and we have seen Devin make these in the past, and I don't think anybody looks past it. And I think if this happened in week 1, he's the guy, that we don't look past it. But now, given the situation, you can't do that. Well, how did we get to the point where Devin feels comfortable doing this? That falls in Pop's lap, where he still feels like, I'm the dude. How? Why on earth do you think you are?
There are 3 sectors of blame here. There's a tripod, a triumvirate of blame. All right. Number 1, Devin, you are not him.
No.
Okay. You are not him. That's the first sector of blame. Number 2, Pop, how have you allowed this anarchy to flourish and really to thrive? Because it only continues to thrive because it's not just about the last second shot. It's about why is Devin dominating throughout a game? Like he should not. There should be no game, none, that Wemby plays at least 20 minutes in, which is already a low bar to begin with, but where Devin out-touches him. That's the second set of blame, obviously, on Pop. The third, and you brought this up earlier, you got to stand up for yourself, Vic. You got to start taking the bull by the horns a little bit here. You got to say, Devin, you're Devin Vassell. I'm Victor Wembanyama, all right? I am here. I am the prophecy. I am fulfilling it. I am the chosen one. This is my team. Get the hell out of my way. And if you don't like it, I really don't care. You have to deal with it. But when you get the ball, you throw it to me. That's the way this process goes.
Couldn't have said it better. Coming back as we sit comfortably at Media Row in the beautiful city that is Las Vegas. We got a lot of big game coverage your direction. Get close to your devices. We're going to give you a little tour coming around the corner as we sit in the convention center between Mandalay and the Luxor, the beautiful downtown Luxor, next door to the airport.
By the way, the brigade is catching on.
Yeah, morning brigade. Well, this is kind of holding on. We like this one. Maybe there's a shirt in the offing. Hold on. We'll look around Media Row next. This is the Morning Huddle, and you are on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
Wade Phillips joining us here in studio on the Blitz. Mike McCarthy said he had a 3-hour meeting with Jerry, and he kept his job on the other side. What are those one-on-ones like with Jerry Jones?
Jerry's blunt, but I mean, he wants to know about his team and what we're doing and how we're going to get better, basically. Not the plays. He doesn't want to call the plays. Yeah, he has long meetings. I've had those 3 hours. The shorter meeting I had with him wasn't good. Yeah, that was my last meeting with him.
That was short, huh?
Yeah.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
My name is John Clay Wolf, and I'm the CEO of GiveMeTheVin.com, and I love to buy cars. And I love the system we built to buy your car. It is quick. It is fast. If you've got your license plate number, you can just go to GiveMeTheVin.com, stick it in there. 45 seconds, you're in and out. You'll have a number. GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer, where we love to buy cars.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Score big with LS Tractors at Dietz Tractor in Seguin, the MVPs of the field. LS Tractors, the star quarterbacks of farming, perfect for tough tasks for farm, ranch, and landscaping. Dietz Tractors has your all-star coaching staff for top-notch equipment. They're not just selling tractors, they're building lasting relationships with unmatched dealer support for parts and maintenance. It's a winning strategy that goes beyond the final whistle. Don't miss the game-winning move. 0% financing available with approved credit on LS Tractors. Start blue, stay blue at Dietz Tractor in Seguin.
It is time to play Pass the Pigskin for a chance to win $5,000 cash and tailgate prize packs. Celebrate with Southern Wrestlings by entering the Pork Rind Appreciation Day giveaway at porkrindappreciationday.com. That's porkrindappreciationday.com. And don't forget to pick up your favorite bold-flavored, protein-packed Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds today at H-E-B.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids. Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision?
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Febreze. Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
Hey, I'm Chelsea, and a little thing I like about the Chick-fil-A Spicy Deluxe Sandwich is I think it's just a perfect combination of ingredients. The pepper jack cheese and that spiciness of the sandwich. It's the right type of spice and the right amount of spice. It's crunchy on the outside, but then really tender on the inside. And then obviously the pickles on the bottom are iconic. There are too many things I like about it. I don't know if I could finish the thought.
Bring on the spice and order the Chick-fil-A Spicy Deluxe Sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real guests paid for their testimonial.
QC Kinetics patient Robert Patterson, a veteran and business owner, struggled at work and in the gym with chronic agonizing shoulder pain.
Those injuries just continue to nag, and if you don't treat them, they just get worse. And I just kind of abused my body for a long time, and it finally had said enough is enough.
That's okay, because QC Kinetics tells your pain, hey, enough is enough. Their regenerative treatments bring you relief by helping restore and repair damaged tissue with no drugs, no downtime, and best of all, no surgery.
I was able to exceed the goals that I had previously attained in the gym. It was absolutely worth its weight in gold, so I could continue to live life without limitation.
Ready to get lasting relief from your joint pain? Call QC Kinetics to learn more about how natural biologic treatments can get you lasting results. Call now. It's a free consultation.
210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318.
Folks, there's nothing romantic about home repairs, but when your plumbing has lost that love and feeling and your AC is about to achy break your heart, call Quarterman Plumbing, Heat, and AC at 210-651-5899. We'll fix the issue fast at a great price with a servant spirit.
Joel, this is a special Valentine gift from me to you.
Yeah, but why are your arms red?
I got a deal on this plant for your office.
That's poison ivy, Nigel.
It's what?
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. 210-651-5899. License number M16004. DACLA 000743458.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Aggies. San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NFL, the Super Bowl week kicks off tonight as it's media night here in Las Vegas. The Dallas Cowboys begin their search anew for a defensive coordinator. Jerry says he's getting to work at 9 o'clock. Spurs went down to the Cavs, 117-101, but your Longhorns took down TCU 77-66. Looking around the NFL at the big game next here on 94.1.
How good do you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
It is the Morning Huddle. Huddle up around us. We got something to talk about. He is RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. I need a title. I'm something, somewhere. Like, he's RJ Ochoa, the man.
Right.
I need to come up with something.
Well, it's in my contract that I get that.
Well, you should.
Set.
You deserve that. That's well earned.
I mean,
I'm something.
Can I come up with something?
Kind of like Rob Thompson, owner of Avery the Wonder Dog. Something like that.
How about Rob Thompson, head of robbing.
What?
Head of robbing.
I don't know what that is.
Grand Robbio.
Now, I need a title.
Rob Thompson.
I'm program director. Program director. See, that sounds weird, right? That doesn't sound right.
The G is hard. It's like
it sounds like I'm throwing my weight around. Like, oh, I'm the boss.
How about Rob Thompson corner office?
That's not a good. I need a title like managing contributor for all something like that. I need something
Rob
that sounds
Thompson,
like I'm busy.
Grandmaster of process.
Something like that. A title that you can't quite define. Like you do what? I like that.
I like Grandmaster of process, and we call you GMOP for short. Rob Thompson, GMOP.
You keep trying to sign nicknames that ain't going to stick.
You are literally begging for one right now. What do you mean I keep trying?
Ain't going to No, not. I don't want a nickname. I want a title. Ooh. You're the managing editor. I need something that separates me from the greatness that is the managing editor.
On the subject of assigning names, it appears that we have a winner for the show named The Moles, so to speak. That percolate throughout our audience, both on YouTube and in the radio audience.
You call them moles?
Moles are like people who listen. That's a general.
That is not an appropriate term.
That's an
unfortunate word.
That's a nepticast. They're living and thriving in the atmosphere. Moles are highly functioning member of the environment. Anyway, I mean it. Goldfinger 123 suggested calling you the professor in chief. Now. And for short, the PIC, the professor in.
Use P at the beginning of that, but yes.
Class is in session for the professor in chief.
The professor in chief.
I really like that.
We're writing that one down. That's a keeper.
The crew is not called the crew. The crew around here. Are we ready to officially dub them?
I think so.
Okay. It's the Morning Brigade.
I like
the Brigade for short.
It signifies an attack to the day with a plan.
So we're the Morning Huddle, but the Huddle for short, right? Kind of, layman's terms. The Morning Brigade is the official title on official documentation, the official certificates, and social security cards, things like that. But the Brigade for short. So we got the Huddle, the Brigade, and the professor in chief and the managing editor.
We're rounding into form. This is coming together as we are kicking off our fourth hour here at the Media Radio Row, and starting to pick up a little bit of vibration here. And as is typical, as we expect to see all kinds of different types, we're going to talk in a couple of minutes a contest that we are putting together that all four of the hosts and those around are going to have to go through.
You've been putting together while everybody else sleeps.
Yeah, everybody's sleeping. So we're going to assign them a contest. So we're going to tell you what that is and how we're going to be able to keep track of that in a couple minutes. But we do need to address the news of the day. If you went to bed early last night, you missed that Joe Witt, former defensive mind with the Dallas Cowboys, has vacated the Star. I don't know if he actually got a chance to interview for the open defensive coordinator job, but he's going to go work for his former boss. He now will be of the Commander. So that's one more bit of brain drain that the Cowboys are dealing with on the defensive side of the ball. That goes into kind of the narrative here that the Cowboys just did not see this coming or refused to see it coming, had their head in the sand like an ostrich. But here we sit in a corner that Jerry has painted himself into. What next?
I disagree with that notion. I don't think that this has caught them by surprise. I think that, I'm not going to be naive enough. Not that you're naive. No professor is. But I'm not naive enough to think that the Cowboys are like, Dan's gone? Oh, what?
Dan was going to leave us?
We're not prepared. I mean, these things are all in play and in movement and in, jeopardy, so to speak. And so they had a plan. They had internal candidates. They obviously also knew that if Dan ultimately got a job, he would likely take them with him. They understand the lame duck nature. They understand. They have Twitter. All right. They're just the same as us. Okay. In that capacity. But I will kill them for their external, lookings so far. You cannot, and we didn't talk about this in this way earlier. So here we go. You can, and I don't mean that in the Dak way. All right. You cannot tell me, Rob. You can't. You simply cannot say, I am all in on 2024, which Jerry Jones said last week. We talked about it last week. You cannot say we are all in and then only from an external candidate perspective, peruse Ron Rivera and Mike Zimmer. You can't. You simply can't do it. That's like saying, when I would tell my parents, I promise I'm going to study, and then I would look at the sheet for like 5 seconds. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's not.
I looked at it.
I skimmed it. You know what I mean? You can't.
Let me ask you the question, and this might be a defense. You're getting ready to go to trial. You expect, what are they going to say when we say this? What if Steven came out and Jerry came out and said, hey, you're right. This is a short-sighted sign, but we don't want to give up one draft pick Is there a compensation issue if they go hire somebody up? You know what I mean? Are they worried about giving up a draft pick for this coach they might have to hire? Would that play in? Is that even enough of an excuse to go, we don't want to give up a damn thing for a short-term fix to a long-term problem?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's just they
just legitimately are just going to be.
They don't have interest in that right now.
As long as the interest meter continues to move, as long as Jerry's making news, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and we talked about it a little while ago when we got here. I wouldn't even say at the crack of dawn. I don't even know if dawn is happening.
I'm not even sure it's happening.
But I mean, you cannot tell me also that this wasn't done this way so that it wouldn't be a storyline throughout all of radio, media, antenna row. I mean, every show in the country is going to be talking about this today to some degree because it's the Cowboys, it's the defensive coordinator. The Super Bowl is going to be played on Sunday, but we're sitting here because we don't know who the defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys is going to be.
Is there a chief or a 49er that could even be an option? I mean, is there anybody that you look at and go, there's some history there maybe, because we know there has to be some kind of history?
No, I think Steve Wilkes, who's the Niners defensive coordinator, and both Steves, actually, Steve Spagnuolo, I think they're great head coaching candidates, but they're both defensive.
So there's no excuse, hey, we're waiting for this.
No. I mean, it's just we want to do this. We're doing it our way. Sinatra style, baby. And that's how we roll.
The very idea that they're going to string this out for the entire week just seems absolutely Dallas Cowboys-esque.
It won't be the entire week. It'll be shortly before Micah does his car wash around here.
Because that's my next question. Because we expect to start seeing, as is typical with the calendar on Radio Row, Media Row, Wednesday will be the day we really start to see the players kind of circulate. That's when they're going to arrive. The parties really start kicking in earnest, and that's why they're getting here for the big parties. And we'll start seeing those guys. And there will be, I'm curious to see if there is a standard line, like all those that the Micahs, the young studs with the Cowboys get together. Like, all right, here's going to be our story. Let's stick with it. Whatever that might be. I don't think that's going to be the case. Somebody is going to tell us in so many words what happened there at the end of the season, why Dan Quinn went out, why that fell apart. We're going to hear something, I think, over the next week in kind of a sideways kind of statement. We're going to hear why Dan Quinn was out, gone.
I think if anything, we're going to hear a lot of self-atonement, a lot of we weren't prepared. Maybe there's a little. If there's anything, there's a slight admission. Again, this is all projection and prediction, but like a slight admission of we were smelling ourselves. We'd won the NFC East,
and that might be the answer.
And I think we can accept that, but it's hard to accept. But it's just the reality. It is an acceptable answer, in terms of logically justifying what happened, as opposed to because right now there is this big question of like. What? How? What?
Yeah.
Like what? And so, but you also on the subject of them coming in, just for everyone's entertainment purposes, Dak Prescott will hand out the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award this week as well. That's on the menu because he's the reigning winner. It's his duty to hand it out. But who else? Who else has come? I think so. We're going to get for sure Dak, for sure. Oh, well, we're going to talk to Tony Pollard.
Yeah, we'll have Pollard day after tomorrow, Wednesday.
We have Pollard. But it will be on Thursday's show.
Yeah. So we will have, like I said, they're all arriving en masse. I'll be very interested to hear from a guy like Pollard, whose very future depends on what goes on this year, whether they give him another contract or he is off to find another $11 million franchise tag kind of contract.
I think the answer is the latter. But he's gone. Also, we're talking about a challenge you want to institute to the crew. My challenge to you is Tony Pollard's tough interview. You're going to have to.
There are three things. Whenever you talk to Pollard, you talk about
Memphis barbecue.
The Memphis barbecue, the connection with Memphis and UTSA football, and how much the football program has gone. Over the last couple of years, it was him filling the void and doing all that extra stuff next to former number 22. And now what happened is going to be a tough interview, especially that he's going to be hitting that market pretty soon after he's top spot.
2-3 says in the chat, could you ask Pollard if he fully trusted his foot? I like this question. And you know what? We'll do our best throughout the week. Now, these things, look, they're always subject to change. There's, chaos, crazy things happening around here, but we'll do our best to sprinkle when we know stuff is going to happen. Tweet at Rob Thompson ESPN, and me at RJ Ochoa. We trust the brigade to do that. What questions, things you would like us to address with different guests, different people, different personalities, et cetera, et cetera.
There's You get used to seeing all the radio crew around here, and the requests coming in asking all these guys certain questions. That's why we love telling you who's coming. But there's a couple of the stations up here that intentionally, especially tonight, media night, they're going to try to ambush guys. They have the silly question, the silly mask.
Oh, yeah.
It's typical of this kind of night. We don't normally do that, though. I would like to.
If you could wear a funny outfit tonight, what would you? What's in your?
Would it have to be appropriate to the? If I
No, it doesn't have to be like.
No, I would.
related.
Given my current physique, I think a 1975, 74 version of Elvis would be how I would.
Well, that concert really happened.
Yes, but I'm not sure I'd wear that black leather one. I'd rather go with the gi jumpsuit, leather, full bell bottom, pot belly, the belt that you can't ever. He never actually saw the belt buckle because it was facing down. That kind of Elvis. That's how I would show up tonight, and I will lay money. There will be 3 Elvises tonight. I bet we spot 3 Elvises. There will be at least 2 or 3 Rat Packers walking around.
An Iron Man,
we will see
Spider-Man.
There might be. I bet we'll see the Beatles. I bet we'll see people that look like the Beatles.
I think that they're. The Biomix asks, "Are you going to wear some professor garb? You got to get you some."
What is a professor garb? As I am now the what am I? The
professor in chief.
Professor in chief.
Yeah,
the pick.
I think we got to get you the PIC. We got to get you. Like some kind of glasses.
I feel like what came to mind was like Harry Potter, but I'm not going to put on like
no.
glasses.
Well, you need some brimmed glasses for sure. Well, then you need a pencil in your ear.
Maybe that's it.
And maybe like a ruffled collar.
Could I be like the cool professor?
That's what you need, like a ruffled collar under the sweater. You know what I mean? Like the collar's got to be disheveled, like like the young professor. Like you threw it on and then you rode your bike to class.
Like the professor from Animal House that smoked weed with the students.
Never seen Animal House, but
again, R.J. Ochoa, you have not seen Animal House,
dude. That movie's like 50 years old. I mean, like the presentation.
I don't want this to reflect poorly on our listeners. Now, guys, be kind to RJ in the Twitter sphere. In fact, what I would do at RJ Ochoa is let him know not only that his movie. I don't know.
You know what? I'll put together a list.
There's a list of movies that you have to have seen by a certain age, and you haven't seen it.
Is Animal House? Is Animal House was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I know that, but I mean, is Animal House also the shout scene?
Yes.
I mean, I've seen enough,
No, you haven't.
I mean,
there's so much more.
Yeah.
Let him know. There's others out there. By the way, Princess Bride, not a good movie in his words.
Ferris Bueller, overrated.
Ferris Bueller, overrated. And he's never even seen Animal House. Have you seen 16 Candles?
With Molly Ringwald?
Yes.
No.
See, there you go. We take all comers in the Morning Brigade. We do. So you're certainly welcome if you're of that ilk, but if you are of those that are intelligent and know of what they speak, let RJ know what's going on. There's some movies you have to watch, and you're going to have some afternoons free. Let's kick back.
Well, we got some stuff.
Because, the Dallas Cowboys do nothing in the offseason, so it's about to get real quiet.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a lot of extra time.
That's true.
To catch up on all the movies. Hey, coming back, a contest is in the works. We have a plan to keep us busy, and it's time to air your grievances. If you're angry, it's time to go zen with us. Hold on tight. There's more to come. Huddle up with us. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Sports Star boys are in Vegas for the big game.
Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Robin, RJ, and Jason and Joe are in Sin City and Radio Row for the big game, with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
Woo! I think you gonna get away with it. Not up in here.
Not up in here.
Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergenics, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Shop O'Reilly Auto Parts for do-it-right deals on motor oil, wiper blades, and more. Visit your local O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not available in a combo. Single item at regular price.
1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced. Let our professional parts people test your battery for free at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, poker players, the Big Blind is open. With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. Whether you are seeking high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road, just down from the Rue Pub, offers daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road.
Progressive asks, what do a late-night pizza craving,
Pizza place. Can I get 1 large pepperoni pizza?
a newly licensed teen delivery driver, a guaranteed delivery time or its free offer, and your front fence have in common?
Uh-oh.
That's my fence! They can turn your stomach upside down in under 30 minutes.
I'm still getting a tip, right?
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive for great savings and round-the-clock protection.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more straight talk. Let's take a moment to appreciate our sweet children, loving grandparents, and eternal soulmates. Now let's use them to save money on wireless. Because with the Straight Talk Silver Plan, you get 4 lines for just $25 a month with unlimited data and no contracts. So add those human pawns, loved ones, and save money. Thanks, kids. They're finally worth it. Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Get 4 lines on Silver Unlimited for $25 per line per month, plus taxes and fees. For data management practices and additional terms, visit straighttalk.com.
Super Bowl 58 in Vegas is set. It's the Chiefs and Niners. Hear it right here on your exclusive home for the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hey, huddle up on us. This is your Morning Huddle. RJ Ochoa, Rob Thompson with you. Coming to you live from Media Row. The week is always fun, and you're always looking for different avenues to kind of put your guys in situations that kind of, you want to stretch the envelope. And we always try to do something fun amongst us. And we've been coming up with a contest that we're going to put Jason and Joe. You helped.
Take credit.
So as the week goes on, you sit on the road, you just see people walking by, their handlers are covered. You see, because of our proximity to LA, it'd be a lot of Hollywood types. Miami brought them out. I do expect we'll see a fair amount, certainly a lot more than we saw in Minneapolis. With that in mind, you want to take pictures, you want to meet new people. I think we're going to have a bit of a contest, and we're going to force us to fill a bingo card of the type of Super Bowl attendee, these celebrities that we're going to run into. And there are 4 different types that I think we're going to hit, RJ. And we've got them quantified. So I think all of us at some point over the next week need to take a picture and post it in one of our social media flows, a picture with 4 different types that are going to be here. First, the entertainer. Music, actor, whatever. There are going to be plenty of them.
So a non-athlete.
A non-athlete, someone that everybody knows, you've seen on TV, you've watched on video, whatever, an entertainer of sorts. I got a picture with Lil Nas X in Miami. Didn't even know who he was.
The
rapper.
Take my
Him. It was
horse
posted. It was just after that. He was riding that wave with Billy Ray, and he was standing right next to us. And someone said, "That's Lil Nas X." I went over and took a picture with him. That's the kind of thing I'm looking forward to this week. And we're going to force Jason Minix, who, by the way, in Los Angeles, turned down an interview with Diplo because it was lunchtime.
That's pretty unforgivable.
It was. He didn't know who it was, but he would have had an opportunity to do that. So that's first on our bingo card. Second is a pro athlete from another sport.
Okay. So Joel Embiid, he's got time.
He'll be limping if he's here, but I'm sure we'll see pleny. Some of the.
So did the people we're interviewing count?
No. This is
That's
random.
stupid.
No, these don't count. These have been organized and set up, but most of the time by not you. At least not me. So I don't think I should get credit for something you set up.
Okay.
So no, this has got to be, we're walking the streets, we're in Radio Row, and we'll have to have a picture of an entertainer and a professional athlete, not of the NFL.
Okay.
The second one, we're calling this the JoJo Siwa photo.
Siwa. JoJo Siwa.
Back in Minneapolis some time ago, Jason and I had an opportunity,
You tell the story horribly. I got this.
Yeah, you were there. Yeah.
It was incredible. So Robin and Jason on the Blitz at the time were they had to do this interview, and it was JoJo Siwa. She was not to the level of fame that she is now.
She was pretty big.
She was, but she wasn't, on this level then. And so she came in the most glittery way I've ever seen a human being be. And you guys all talked for like 15 minutes. It was incredible.
Yeah, and it was, I hate to admit it, it was an interview that never made it on air.
It's a lost tape.
It is a lost tape. And I went home and I told my wife that, you know what, we interviewed this JoJo Siwa. She goes, all of my wife, a former teacher, said, "Oh my goodness, if you didn't take a picture," and I said, "I think we actually do have a picture.
I think I might
somewhere."
have a picture, yeah.
And she's like, "You're going to be a superstar to my kids," and I had no idea. So not random, but we need to find a picture with an influencer of note.
Okay,
but it has to be of non-sports.
Okay, so a famous person who isn't an entertainer, but is not an athlete.
An influencer.
Ninja.
Is there an influencer named Ninja?
You haven't played Fortnite any shows.
So that's a yes.
Yes.
Okay. So that ilk. And then a Hall of Famer.
Of any sport?
Of any sport. A guy who has put on an orange, a yellow, whatever jacket, a Hall of Famer. But it can't be here at our table.
Now, I have one question, because you brought up the jacket distinction.
Right.
What if it's a green jacket, a Masters jacket?
That might count.
Well, they aren't walking around a lot, but we are scheduled to speak to Bubba Watson. He's put it on twice, so we could have technically one for me, one for you.
Bubba counts.
That's what I'm saying.
Bubba counts.
We're going to talk to him. So
but that doesn't count for us because we are going to talk to him. But if you were walking around, if Jason and Joe were just to walk down a hall and they see Bubba, I would count that as a Hall of Famer.
Your rules are so stupid.
Well, no, it's not fair to get credit for an interview that was set up for you. I didn't set up Bubba.
So you're saying,
did. So I would be.
What if Jason and Joe are here while we're interviewing Bubba?
That doesn't count.
And then afterwards, take a picture.
Not inside the walled vicinity that is Media Row. It has to happen organically. And organically to our interview area doesn't count.
How about this? I'm going to amend this slightly. Okay, slightly. You don't have to be with the person. You can see them from. Sometimes you see them from across the hall. Whatever. It's kind of.
No, we need a posed picture.
That's not what.
We got 4 days to get 4 dudes. 5 days. It shouldn't be that hard.
I think this is tough. It's tougher than you're willing to give it credit for.
I don't think so. First of all of them are here for a reason. I mean, they know they're going to have pictures taken, so it's not like we're interrupting them at lunch. They're here or wherever they might be. I think an arm around a quick, especially the JoJo Siwa award. I mean, they do. The entertainer would.
So
be.
What is the
They're
winner?
Here for a
what am I competing?
Well,
for?
that's what I'm getting towards. So by Friday, I'm not so much see, the winning ain't nothing. This is more about losing your fantasy. The loser. What should happen to the person that does not? Who would be most likely me? What should happen to the person who does not fill his bingo card? That should be the question that is left to the blitz that will be going at 2 o'clock live right here.
How about we do this? Let me amend it one more time, if I may. We team up, huddle against blitz.
Okay, that would be.
You know what I'm saying? We have to come up with this together. Now, I'm not necessarily pumped about this because you've just offered about how bad you are at this. So,
yeah, well, I'm not going to I wouldn't know a random influencer from anybody. So
they wouldn't lie.
See, that's why I'm thinking the teaming up we're going to help. So we're going to have to find them, but they're going to be everywhere. And you can tell.
Okay.
You'll see them walking around. You'll know.
What do you mean you can tell? You're just going to be like, oh, this is a person. They're going to take a picture. You're going to come, hey, guys, look at my picture. We're going to be like, that's
over
nobody.
my years, I can tell a YouTube influencer, a TikToker from a mile away. I can just see them.
But it's a team-wide event. Huddle v. Blitz.
Well, that's what we're assuming. But, yeah, I think we'll get them. I think we will own the
So what do they have to do if we win?
Well, that's what we need to come up with, a proper penalty that will have to be carried out on Friday if you have not achieved your goal by the end of your shift.
They have to do the Hot Ones challenge.
Now, that would kill Jason. It would literally
There's no tomatoes in it. What do you mean?
Yeah, no, the heat would put Minix in the ground. He doesn't appreciate spicy food. I don't know about Joe, but there should be something that could. Now, the problem, we'd have to do it third. The loser has to zip line down Fremont.
The only other problem with that is that would take a long time. I mean, it's probably like a 3-hour process. You know what I mean?
Yes, but it would be well worth it. If we had the loser.
We had Jason and Joe.
So Thursday night, we're going to Ditka and Jaws. I think by the end of Thursday night, if you haven't achieved your four.
So like, does like the clientele at Ditka and Jaws, do those count?
I think so.
What, you got all these weird rules. I don't even want to be on your team anymore. Like you keep moving the goalposts.
What? No, I'm not. I'm just saying by Thursday night, it just can't happen. It has to happen organically. You have to be able to walk up to them. They can't be coming to our table. But anywhere outside of that. But what I'm trying to get at is by Thursday night, if you haven't achieved it, you're probably not going to get it Friday. So maybe post-party Thursday night, we have to make our way to Fremont by the El Cortez and take a little zip line for the loser.
I'm fine with some version of all this, but what you've cooked up so far is a bit questionable to say the least.
Why?
Because you like, oh, this counts, this doesn't count, this place counts, but this one doesn't count. I mean, it's just,
why wouldn't the Ditka Jaws count?
Because it's within walls. It's within four walls.
Then it won't count.
It's got to. If you're saying it's got to be in the natural environment, that's a controlled environment.
It has to happen here
or in Las Vegas,
except at any organized party,
organized event. So Radio Row counts as an organized event.
So it can't count here.
Exactly.
So we have to be outside these walls.
We have to be free,
but not
free
at an
roam.
organized event.
Yeah. This is like when you go hunting and they're like, well, you can't, here, whatever. This
got a lot more difficult if we can't do it like
this was your game.
Area.
I mean,
but I think it should happen here, just not within 20 feet of our table.
That's also not fair because it sets up to that's what people are doing. Like here, to your point, and then we're gonna step on other people's toes because it's their guess and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to do this, I'm not on your team. You can do this.
Wow, you have bailed out completely. I almost have a grievance regarding that. Hey, coming back, if you got some bad air over the weekend that you need to exhale to start the week in an appropriate manner, we have the venue for you. We're going to air our grievances and start the week right. Out with the bad air, in with the good. It's coming up next. Huddle up around us. We got something to talk about. The Morning Huddle continues right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, we have made it. We are in Las Vegas on Radio Row, and we got a star-studded lineup today.
Yeah, Thomas Dimitrov, former GM, is going to join us at 2:30. Solomon Wilcox at 3:30. Andrew Sendejo, the former Smithson Valley Ranger, joined us at 5. Live in Las Vegas, The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Here in San Antonio, if our football teams aren't winning, we make changes. So if you're losing against your non-energy efficient windows, call Maverick Windows at 800-972-3631 and get a free quote for new energy efficient windows. That's 800-972-3631.
Nothing says I love you like romantic, timeless jewelry. Even better when you can save an extra 20%. Right now at Diamonds Direct, all fashion favorite jewelry is 20% off. That's earrings, bracelets, pendants, bands, colored gemstone jewelry. Get 20% off Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices. Special financing too. Get her something she can enjoy and appreciate for years to come. A fashion favorite. from Diamonds Direct. Shop in-store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
We are down to the big game in the football season, and you could still play along at Underdog Fantasy. Jason Minix here from the Blitz. I love playing the Pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy, where you pick between 2 and 5 players and select whether they will go higher or lower their predicted stats. And if your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money in a single night. It is a fantasy game that is legal in Texas and certainly makes watching the games a lot more fun. Get in the game now. Go to their easy-to-use mobile app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with my promo code STAR and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100 and you're ready for the big game. Plus, they'll give you a special pickup higher than a half total yards to use on your first pick'em entry. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code STAR. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Joe Reinagle here. I want to tell you about something that has completely changed my life. I had vision correction surgery at Parkhurst New Vision. The results are amazing. The readers are a thing of the past. Hey, if you're like me and tired of those glasses, call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020. They offer a variety of services like vision correction surgery. So call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020, or get them online at SanAntonioLASIK.com.
This is the Morning Huddle with Rob Thompson and RJ Ochoa.
Welcome, newcomers. The tradition begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Here are the grievances with Rob and RJ.
Sounds like a band. And introducing, fresh off a worldwide tour, the grievances. Hey, welcome up to the Huddle. It is your Morning Huddle. He is RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. I am Rob Thompson, the, what am I? Professor-in-Chief.
Professor-in-Chief.
Here on San Antonio Sports Star. We do it every day at 9:30. It is your opportunity to air your grievances. Let them out, man. You got to let people know if something's getting at you. We all have our little ones. We all have our El Guapos. let us know. RJ, anything you got to get off your chest to kind of feel better about the rest of the day?
First things first, and I've said this before in the past, and I'm going to say it again right now, and it's applicable because we're here at the Super Bowl. We're going to go get some merchandise at some point this week. I've got a list. Do you have a list for the boys?
No, I don't have to do that anymore. I'm out of it. I had for many years. I had a list. I don't have to do that anymore.
Well, do you have a wish list for yourself?
Oh, I got some things I want to get. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I have a list, but we're going to go in there. We're going to see half-zips, polos, whatever this and that. It's going to bother me. It's going to piss me off when I see the wrong color jerseys. One of the coolest parts about championship games, wherever you are, whether it's the Super Bowl, whether it's NBA, well, they don't do it on the NBA Finals anymore, which also pisses me off. Final Four, you get the patch on your jersey.
It shows you were there.
But it's part of the battle armor. You know what I mean? Like
you earned it.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's only for that time. Like it should exist. It shouldn't be on the back, the nape of the neck for NBA Finals. Put it on the front. Put the LOB on the front, please. We all deserve it.
Should you get that forever if you win? Should there always be something on your uniform if you've won a Super Bowl?
I love in the NBA how they have the franchise's number of titles on the back. That's a cool homage. I wouldn't mind if like on LeBron's jersey,
if you had a couple of titles, no matter what team you were on, you had a couple of trophies someplace.
No, I don't think it should be visible, but like the bottom where they have the size. If you want to put something there, even like your MVPs or All Stars,
something like that, I wouldn't be against that.
I have the 2006 NBA All Star jacket. They had so my jacket only has that patch for that year, but on every players they had all their previous All-Star games.
Right.
And it looked, because it was in Houston, it looked like a spacesuit, like when an astronaut's prior missions. Love that. I'm totally with you. But I think if you want to put previous accomplishments, they should be hidden a little bit. Put them somewhere. I agree with you. But back to my grievance. So this Sunday, the Chiefs are going to wear their red jerseys with the Super Bowl 58 patch. The Niners are going to wear their white jerseys with the Super Bowl 58
And
patch.
if you're watching live, you can see behind RJ. We'll fix the camera. There you go. That's good to be part of the
So my grievance is that they will sell and people will buy Chiefs white jerseys with the Super Bowl 58
and
patch.
they will not have worn a white jersey on Sunday.
Or Niners red jerseys with the Super Bowl 58 patch. Why would you want something that isn't real? That's not real. Why would you sell that? I get because you're greedy. I mean, you want to make money. Fine. Weird MO, but you should not want that. You should not be like, well, I prefer this color. If you prefer that jersey, great, but you can't get the Super Bowl patch on it.
Because I remember my team, what they wore. You know what I mean? I know what color we had on when we won those games, and you're wearing the wrong color.
I'm fine if you have like a Spurs black or white jersey with the trophy.
Wore them both.
Exactly. Right. It's a series. But in terms of this, you have to get the color that they wore during the game. I think that's fair.
I have two grievances. One is sports related. That is obvious that a lot of us have it, but it was just reinforced yet again by a stat that I just saw.
But
we'll get there.
Okay. Good.
But
Good luck, everyone else.
But first, I want to exhale on something that happened to me yesterday. We flew in on different flights yesterday. When we landed in Las Vegas, weather caused a ground delay even before we took off from San Antonio. And then when we landed, not only did we land at the same time as the president on Air Force One, who's in Nevada for the Democratic primary, but also both of the NFL teams landed. And between weather and the president and everything else, once we landed here in McCarran, our flight, we had to kind of sit for a minute as things were taxiing and things were going on. We didn't get immediately off the plane. It wasn't a long wait, but just long enough to where we were sitting. So as we taxi up to the gate or close to the gate, and the plane just kind of stops, is when the flight attendants give you the goodbye kind of stuff. Well, we're sitting there, and our particular flight attendant on Southwest Airlines, which some of them are very entertaining, and this one was too, got on and started singing a song. Like, grabbed the mic and started singing a song with words to the tune of Auld Lang Syne.
Wow.
That went on way too long. We were a totally captive audience. And this attendant, who I will give credit, sang moderately well. But it's kind of like when you sing like Amazing Grace. You sing the first verse and you're about done, right? Well, this one went on to the second verse and lyrics I'd never heard, and it just kept going. Southwest Airlines, I appreciate the entertainment value. I love that you're happy at work. You don't have to sing to me, and you don't have to sing to me for 8 minutes. It got face sweating like, oh my God, please finish.
Like awkward.
Awkwardly long. that, man, because there's nowhere to go. I literally had nowhere to go.
I honor your grievance. We also talked about a bit of a judging process. So my grievance stands, right? You're good with it?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
You have every right.
Your grievance passes as well. We have a crowdsourced grievance from the
Good.
brigade.
We need them.
Okay. Joshua Jimenez says on the chat, another reason everybody go subscribe to the SA Sports Star YouTube channel, pay the like tax.
Yes.
What that means is like the video. There's a little thumbs up. Rob, give a thumbs up to the camera. Show them your thumb. It's opposable. And turn on noties. The brigade is a noti gang. You will get notifications when we go live and we have videos post, etc., etc. Joshua Jimenez says, my grievance is with my 1-year-old. What a great start.
Oh, yeah, don't we all? Okay.
She's got some new toys, but wants to play with the plastic tub that they are in instead of playing with the toys. My son is 2 years old. I get it. I get it. He and my son only wants to play with the same ones. And so actually, to expand upon your grievance, Joshua, and I don't mean like this in a bad way, but my grievance is kind of with my family and friends. He doesn't need any more toys. He just wants to play with the same 5 of them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you giving us more toys isn't helping him play with more things. It's just giving us more crap to store.
That's our job, though.
I'm just saying.
We all know that we're giving you more crap.
So maybe that grievance doesn't pass, but I mean, it could be.
No, it's a real grievance.
We're airing it.
But to all new parents, you find that out real quick, that the things you think are cool, they don't. And enjoy this, because trust me, when you're,
he's okay. He's alive.
When your little one,
found that
male or female, reaches about 12, the boxes don't matter anymore. The things that inside start to matter a whole lot more, and they're a lot more expensive. Enjoy the time when they're happy with the box and the paper bag and the cheap, the eye level toys at wherever you go, those cheap ones that the impulse buys. Enjoy it while they like those, because there's going to come a time when their wants go from the $5, oh, this is cool, or the $15 disposable toy to the $300 game set, where they might also get
$300.
Well, I'm $500 or $300 of whatever accoutrement to go, the new steering wheel, the new chair, the new whatever, and then they don't use that. That's when you get mad.
More brigade.
Come on, brigade, get it off your chest.
Goldfinger 123 says, my little boy plays with the hangers, not his toys. Gilberto Padilla says, LOL, my son would play with straws and plastic cups instead of his new toys. So yeah,
enjoy it while you can, man. This is the good time. This is the salad days. It gets a lot more expensive the older they get.
So I have a second grievance. You have a second.
Oh, I got one.
Okay, mine is non-sports related. Yours is sports.
Mine is totally.
Well, I had a sports one. So let me go here. So you saw me make a tea last night.
I did. I watched you microwave a tea.
No, I didn't microwave. I warmed it up in a pot.
Well, I didn't see that part, but I saw you warming it up.
Right. So I made a hot tea, and we got some groceries. I got some honey and whatever, and I have a insulated cup, thermal cup, whatever. My grievance is with the cup.
It's the one did you bring it? You packed it, brought your own? Is it a former Super Bowl one?
It's not.
Oh.
It's a Phil Mickelson one. So I'll show it to Bubba.
Oh, wow.
So my grievance is with the cup, not with Phil. Although a lot of people have grievances with Phil Mickelson. But it's too powerful. All right. I want it to be insulated. Nobody needs it to be scalding hot for 4 hours. Nobody. Nobody needs it to be that hot. And I regretted, I didn't even the water wasn't boiling. It was just moderately hot.
You start your tea not for the initial warm sip, but you want it to cool off. You want.
Well, I want it I want a little bit warmer than warm, and I want to drink it.
You drink your coffee the same way?
Yeah, I want it to be like a warm. I don't want it cool, obviously, but I don't want it boiling. I want to be able to drink it. And so that's why I went to sleep and didn't even really get to enjoy it. So my grievance is it's too powerful of an entity. We need to develop technology to where it can insulate the heat, but also let some dissipate.
It's called styrofoam.
It's not enough. There has to be a happy middle. I don't have to live on one end of the spectrum.
Your beef is your insulated cup works too well?
Yeah.
I'm not sure this passes muster, but we'll leave it up to the brigade. You guys can thumb up or thumb down on this one. There are a few things in life that have improved that you can go, this is better. A lot of things you can look back on. It was easier, before.
It might have been a simpler time might be what I'm hearkening for. Because, again, name the instance that you want something that hot for that long.
I go the vice versa. I love the fact that I can put something in my Yeti at home, my Red Diamond sweet tea. And I can put it in my Yeti with the ice and go to sleep, wake up the next morning, walk by, nice long pull on what is still icy cold and wonderful.
I don't like
tea.
things icy cold.
I love that.
So maybe insulated cups should start for me. Maybe I'm kind of going at this
Maybe you need to go back to the styrofoam days.
Or just like a regular mug. You know what I mean? I might
just an era where you could burn yourself with
Plastic.
But I also know people that will only drink coffee when it is 1 degree off of scalding. Like,
who is
I
that?
I know a lot of people that they want their coffee hot. Anything less than that, they don't like. So I get that. I'm going to vote thumbs down on your.
Wow.
Your insulated cup works too well.
Fred Records offers a thumbs down. I like the thumbs up, thumbs down emoji.
I do too.
It's
We'll
very,
pass muster.
very gladiator. I like this from the brigade.
And we deem your problem is not worth the airing of a grievance.
Rudy Gonzalez also says my grievance is with Bill Miller tacos and the cold tortillas. If you're getting cold tortillas, I'm with you. That's a thumbs up for me.
We could spend an entire show on Bills. I know times are tough, but we could spend an entire. What's going on with your chicken strips? Explain to me. Did you just change birds? What's going on that we're now eating? Are they younger? Why are they small?
You owe us a sports grievance.
I have another one. And this one we've talked about before. I just saw a stat that there are currently in the NBA.
Rob got up and paced.
6 NBA players that are averaging 20 and 10. 5 of them are all-stars. Victor is not. I'll say that again. There are 6 NBA players
active
playing right now that are averaging 20 and 10. 5 of them are all-stars. 1 of them is Victor Wembanyama. Coach Papa's got a lot of receipts. He's got store credit. He's got gift cards. He's got receipts. Dude, you've earned it.
Yeah, baby.
So this season falls on you. This falls directly on what has happened this year. You have ruined the rookie. We're going to look back and go, Wemby was 20 and 10 and not an all-star. You know why? Because his team sucked. He had teammates that didn't understand there are 6 guys in the NBA going 20 and 10, and he's doing this in 20 minutes, and we went 8 minutes to close the game out, and he didn't touch the ball. 7 minutes. Pop, this is on you, man. This has hit squarely where you live, and there's no other place to look. We've looked every other. Is it Keldon? Is it the drafting? Is it this? Is it that?
Is it Brian Wright?
It is you, man. You have allowed us to get to a place where Devin Vassell believes he is the most important player on the team. He believes he is the guy destined to take the shot. You have let him get there. And you know what? It's not him. It's not his fault. You let him get there. It's kind of like at the beginning of Gladiator when he tells his son, you ain't going to be the Caesar, man, and it's my fault. It's your fault, Pop. It's your fault that Devin's going to leave angry, that he didn't get the message early on.
Yeah, I don't really blame Devin.
No, I don't blame him.
I do, but I mean.
He has to understand his circumstance. I get it. But man, oh man, Pop, you let him get to the point where he believes even up till Friday evening that he is the guy.
That's the best way that anybody has put this subject. And there have been a lot of great, sets of analysis on we need a name for Friday. I know we've asked for a lot of names, but
right.
Friday was like the, just New Orleans noodle. It was like, but that's the best way to put it, is that Devin actually believes this.
Yes.
And that in and of itself is a problem. But the real root of the problem is that a set of circumstances and an environment was sort of created and curated to where he was allowed
to continue to think it. That is what is so absolutely galling and how we got here. Not the wins. We knew it wasn't going to be easy. And 10 wins, 22 wins, it doesn't really matter. 10 wins, 30 wins, it doesn't really matter. There's no playoffs. But it's the lack of improvement, and it is what we saw on Friday that I think represents this entire season, that we've got a bunch of young guys who don't understand their place in the world. You haven't allowed or provided Wemby the landing space to become that superstar, or he hasn't taken it, and that's another problem. And you've allowed Devin to foster this idea that he is the man, and Wemby ain't there yet. And he's right in his mind, but he is wrong in the execution, and I don't know how we fix it.
Spurs Twitter is a little bit divided on – I wouldn't say it's 50-50, but, there's a sector that is, kind of trusting the, if you want to call it a process, but that is still on board, like, hey, no, we're playing for the lottery. And to them, I would offer, okay, so what happens if we win the lottery? We're going to win the lottery and get a generational player and let Devin Vassell take game-winning shots over them? You know what I mean? Like, what is the what is the purpose of winning the lottery to not even, use it. I mean, and so it's Frankie Dank says in the chat, a brigade member says, y'all are going about this all wrong. Who hit the shot for Miami to send it to Game 7? It wasn't LeBron. I would put back to you, Frankie Dank, that if the Spurs superstar made his free throws, that doesn't matter.
Yeah, we won't even go back to the missed free throws prior. And you know what? You've got a valid point. And some of this is, you're right. Given the situation, I don't think most people have a problem with Devin taking that shot. I think 3 months ago at the beginning of the season, Devin takes the shot. Well, yeah, that was the one. It was open. We had time, take the shot, and maybe Wemby gets a rebound if things go south. 2 years from now, we're in a situation where we've got some wins under our belt, and both guys have proven able in that moment. He takes that shot. We don't give it a second thought. We never looked at Manu when he took the shot, or Tony when he took the shot, and Tim didn't. It was you earned that.
But it's not just that Devin hasn't earned it. I don't mean to make it about that. It's that we're in the process of Wemby earning things. This is Wemby's, you have
to give him the runway to go do it.
This is his flight school. Like, if after, he's become himself, and they're in Game 4 of a series or whatever, and Devin wants to take the game-winning shot under those circumstances, and Frankie brought up the Derek Fisher shot, okay, like the context matters. But in the 45th game or whatever of the season, as he's literally assimilating himself into the NBA, you have to when has Wemby had that shot this year?
Not one.
That's what I'm saying. So, you got to let him have one. Or he should have all of them. But it's beyond the Wemby of it all and the generation of it all. If you strip away the name and the allure and the prestige, you have a dude averaging 20 and 10. Forget who he is, forget his face, forget his height, forget whatever. He's one of 6 players in the NBA averaging 20 and 10. That's the dude who should be the focus of taking the shot. Basketball happens, things happen, and circumstances change. But you should not so quickly bail for yourself. And the people who took those shots, by the way, were Ray Allen and Derek Fisher. They were not Devin
earn their stripes. Yeah.
Right? I mean, so let's be clear on those things.
So the idea how we sit here, going off on what is traditionally the time when they all come together. I mean, the road trip means a lot of different things to the Spurs, and Pop has embraced it, and it will be a chance for them to spend some time. Keep in mind, they haven't played. They won't play again until Wednesday, so they've had a lot of time to get in the gym and actually practice, get a sweat on in practice, and not go through a walkthrough. And traditionally, we see a very much improved team from the Spurs after a couple of days of practice. But that's, again, kind of feeding this narrative of a Spurs team that appears a little selfish, at least at the top with Devin, a little selfish there, but there's also a little bit of we got to practice this again. You guys still don't get it attitude that I'm feeling with the Spurs, where there's either apathy, they're not eager to learn it, or they just don't get it. We're months into this and you still don't understand the help side defense. You still don't know where to go. Is one or the other. Either you don't want to or you can't. I mean, we're months into this and we are still getting eaten up. Backdoor cuts and those embarrassing things that just show a team that is not prepared or capable of understanding what a game plan is. It gets so deep once you start talking about how you are at the top. It's those middling and bottom guys that are even further behind.
I think what's the hardest current reality to reckon with is it's one thing, and it's an understandable thing for the Spurs to be bad. We can square that. We can square the lack of talent, the transition and the passage of time, and that nothing can stay the same forever. But for the first real time ever, they are without leadership. And that's why this feels so different. I mean, you've got some talent to work with. You've got a major talent piece to work with, but they just don't have, they're lost at sea. They're just a bunch of, you know who they are. This is the Lord of the Flies. And I mean,
the analogy here, we could start assigning names. I don't know if I want to go there.
I don't either. I don't remember all of them. The only one I remember is Piggy, and I think did they not eat Piggy?
Piggy did not end well. Piggy didn't end up well for Piggy at all. Anybody who's read Animal Farm. That is where we sit. That's my grievance. What's yours? You can reach out and let us know a lot of different ways. 656-3776. Sitting comfortably in your home. I want to type on a device. You can do that, and a lot of people will see it too. You can type it out and let us know. Goldfinger's on the run right now. Enjoy y'all's Viva Las Vegas, fellas. Hey, grab me a souvenir. I'm excited for my new title, Rob's new title, and I am the Professor-in-Chief, the PIC, sitting next to the Editor-in-Chief. Are we both chiefs?
I'm the managing editor-in-chief. but you're the professor in chief.
See, but we're both in chief.
No, but it sounds like you say chief is what you are a professor of.
Oh, I'm a professor of chiefdom.
Yeah, it's like there's professors of biology or whatever. You're a professor in chief.
But of like Native American studies?
I don't know. I mean, you could take that how you want. It's appropriate that would happen at a Super Bowl where the Chiefs are playing, though.
And here we sit. If you're watching, you would see directly behind us the logos with all that are happening. So it's going to be a busy day today. The Blitz isn't that far away, although they're far away from us. So I think our plan is we're going to hang around here. We're going to run into some folks. Want to go bet some money? Want to go equal play, $1 a piece?
I have one final grievance. You're not allowed to do any digital betting here.
I know it is very odd.
Yeah.
I'm a Prize Picks dude, and it's a habit.
You can't do Underdog Fantasy. You can't do Prize Picks. You can't do anything on your device. You have to go into the sports books, and I think that's for obvious reasons, given that there's like massive hotels around us that are funded off of that. But I mean, it's a little bit inconvenient to have to go in person.
We're in the Mecca. And we're talking about, and there's a teaser that hit my Prize Picks. If you hadn't seen it, you could pick one of yours yesterday. Patrick Mahomes over a half a yard
push
passing.
People to do that.
Well, I'm saying if you're there,
Alamo.
yeah, go use Alamo. Go to Prize Picks. I don't know if it's still there, but they had a teaser yesterday just to get you in. Over under Patrick Mahomes half a yard, so you're halfway there, baby. We'll give you $100 if you just go line up right now. Go download the app, use the keyword Alamo, and get them in there. And I can't do it. I am in the motherland. I can't make that bet, but you can. That's at Prize Picks. That's a worthy. That's crazy to me.
So I want to break that down for someone who doesn't know. So Prize Picks, the way it works is all you have to do is pick two props for any game. And under. They could be any team as long as you have two things from different teams. It can be, you could take the Mahomes prop and a Wemby prop. You could take, it doesn't have to be both NFL, whatever. But these two things have to happen. You pick a higher or lower, more or less thing. So they're giving you a free one. They're saying as long as Patrick Mahomes passes for 1 yard in the Super Bowl,
so you're halfway home.
You're either halfway home or you could do a 3-leg parlay. Yeah. You could do a 4-leg parlay.
3X, 4X, 5X.
It's up to you. But yeah, go find something you feel confident in, pair it with the Mahomes thing, and make some money and buy Rob something pretty.
Very aggravating that I couldn't do that, but we can just step into the book. You haven't really been indoctrinated into the old school real Caesars book.
Like the Animal House one?
The original Caesar book.
Like the Princess Bride?
The Princess Bride, the Animal House version of Caesars. The original one. Have you been to the real Caesars?
Yeah. I stayed there.
Are you sure?
My only other trip to this place. I have one question before we get out of here. How tired are you now? Because
I'm actually doing pretty good considering it's only 8 o'clock our time.
Here.
But I'm feeling pretty good. We didn't get our coffee till late, so that kicked in a little bit later on in the day. But I think it's the sprints back and forth from the bathroom that's 100 yards in one direction and the coffee that's 200 yards in the other direction.
Yeah.
That we will continue to add steps and add to your day. Make sure you're following RJ Ochoa, me at Rob Thompson ESPN. Updates will happen on a very consistent basis for you. Hey, don't forget the Blitz is just a couple of hours away. And, a lot of these types that you're going to hear on the air are close to us. Our coverage from Radio Row continues all day long, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds, our good friends over at Small Batch, a Southern Recipe Pork Rinds, Southern Recipe Small Batch, excuse me, and, of course, Synergenics. Hey, we're going to take it to our house, but the day is just beginning. Hang with us for all the things you need. This has been The Huddle. We'll see you tomorrow.
The professional football playoffs are here.